drama. I whoop that ass like Michael Obama. Yeah, I got that big D energy. Ain't nobody wanna step to me. And if you really wanna bring that drama, I'll whoop that ass like Michael Obama.
No, Michelle is a trans.
I'm sorry, she's a what?
Transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
It's okay.
I really had a big like a llama. I whip that thing out like Michael Obama.
We already had it with
I got
Obama.
that big energy.
Let's just calm down.
Nobody wanna step to me. And if you really wanna bring that drama, I'll whip that ass like Michael Obama. I'm a girl, 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 I'm a whip the thing out like Michael Obama. I got that big energy. Ain't nobody wanna step like me. And if you really wanna bring that drama, I'll whip that ass like Michael Obama. Ain't got that clit, bitch. Hung like a llama. I'll whip that dick out like Michael Obama. Illuminati coming. Yeah, Illuminati coming. You know you want it. This Illuminati coming.
Learn about the full history of the Bavarian Illuminati. Adam Weishaupt, Alumbrados, Jesuits, Rosicrucians, Freemasons, and more. From the 18th century to modern day, we expose it all.
Yeah, Illuminati coming. You know you want it. This Illuminati coming.
That's right, it's the Illuminati comic from Doenut and Paranoid American. Get yours now at illuminaticomic.com.
Layla hates the honey. Oh yeah, Layla, she hates the honey. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, she hates the honey. Oh yeah. She hates the honey. Oh yeah.
Britney Spears, can we be saved? God, why is Satan controlling the universe?
Here comes Santa. Here comes the world we used to think we knew is constantly exposing rule. Our possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys, good guys. Witches, widows, MAGA, mystics, entertaining cunnilinguist good guys. The forum of the quorum needs a secretive society to advance our philosophies intentionally, magically good guys. Conspiracy, sex, culture, making it's okay to change your thinking. Good guys, good guys, good guys, good guys. The world we used to think we knew is constantly exposing rule. Our possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys, good guys. Witches, widows, MAGA, mystics, entertaining cunnilinguist good guys. The forum of the quorum needs a secret collaborative society to advance our philosophies intentionally, magically. Good guys. Conspiracy, sex, culture, makings, it's okay to change your thinking. Good guys. Good guys. Good guys. Good guys.
Big ups, Sunday night, good guys. Thank you for joining us where we like to talk about our ovaries and periods and birth canals and things like that. So if
Pussy.
you are man enough, thank you for joining us. And if you're a real woman, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Do go over to our Rumble and our X because this is usually the show that if we have something to say about Fauci, it's happening here. And so this is usually where we're going to get in trouble and get pulled down. So yeah, do hit the like and subscribe and follow all the people on the panel always, because if we get taken down off YouTube, you will find us somewhere else. Ladies, how are you?
Great.
So happy to be here. I missed you guys.
You guys look amazing.
Thank you very much.
I feel pretty
Afterglow.
lucky. Like it's I feel like I get big dick energy because I get to hang out with you guys and you guys are like hot stuff.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Love hanging out with you guys. You guys, we are hot stuff, all of us.
Yeah, we are. And we're just authentic as, as possible. So
We're
that
quite
makes
the
us even
trio.
hotter,
And if you want to see us in person, you can go to brogrove.com and you can get tickets to come see us in person October 25th and 26th with a whole bunch of badass lineup that is real patriots and real people screaming at the rooftops about the love of their country. Most of them, other of them are screaming about Nephilim and fake space. I don't know what we might get into there.
I know, it's going to be interesting, huh?
I feel like that's all the commercials I have. Oh yeah, one more thing. If you used my code and got limit salt or element salt, the plane, it kind of tastes like cum to me. I know I shouldn't know what that tastes like. It's not my favorite.
Like
am
yeast
like
and
this?
bleach?
yeah, like I just imagine like sometimes salty beverages, they're giving me swallowing vibes.
Okay.
I haven't
Speaking of
had
that, I was having
salty.
this conversation. Like, you lived in LA before. You know how oleander they plant it all over the sides of the freeways in LA? Like, don't you feel like oleander smells like cum?
I'm not as good with it to have like a smell sense about cum. It's only been a few times in my life that I have sampled um the beverage, but it's just so super salty that even GHB, I've tried that before in my raver days and that tasted like cum to me. I know this is starting out hot, but really the reason I said it is because somebody wrote me and they were like, oh, I got the plain, not a fan. If you get the plain, you have to cut it with honey, maybe make a fair lemonade with it or put it already in a Gatorade, like something you're already drinking.
I get one of
I
those
am a
little stevia water
watermelon.
packets.
Yeah, I'm watermelon in my water. It's watermelon's my favorite, and then chocolate in my coffee.
I've never really had
That's the bomb.
salty jizz, really. I mean, yeah, and I've had, sampled a variety, and I've had one really bad experience where it's spunky spunk, like spunky, ugh, and then the rest were just like sweet, kind of. I got lucky.
I do
Do
think
you
it's
think?
about
Oh,
what
go
they
on.
eat.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think that is like a
Everybody.
Mediterranean diet, and that would be me assuming you've been with like a lot of Muslim men? Do you think the diet is different?
I want to say Muslim. It's been some few Albanian,
Do you think
and a
Islander
few
men taste like shit?
American. So I don't know. I guess I got lucky.
You've
I pick them
sampled?
well. I'm not gonna lie. I pick them well. It's all about the pheromones. If they smell sweet to me, usually they're sweet tasting.
That makes sense. Like,
Mhm.
if the right smell attracts you to
Yeah,
that person.
yeah.
Because you can tell when something's off, and it is pheromones, and you don't really realize that. It's like you're trying to convince yourself that you're attracted because they're attractive, but for whatever reason, your body's like, nah, that ain't for you, dog.
This is funny, like just to bring up the Bach real quick. The Bach is such a gay man's thing. It really is not for women. I've thought about this over and over again. And they're like, "Oh no, women take part in the Bach too. They, eat each other's pussy until they get an egg." It doesn't work the same way. A woman going down on a woman isn't taking on another woman's DNA in the same sense that a man sucking off another man. So I just feel like there's so many cults. I probably would say 80% of the cults that exist are a gay man that really wants to sleep with other gay men but feels weird coming out of the closet about it because of their own Catholic upbringing. And so they create this whole cult to usually we like to romanticize, oh, they're just going to steal the dude's wife. Nah, they're probably just going to sleep with the dude. And so I feel like most of the cults that exist are like some closeted homosexual man thing and have very little to usually do with women or
This
women's
is so deja vu. I
pleasure.
was having this conversation with a friend earlier. Don't you feel like when men are so opposed to gayness too, they're like, oh no, fuck that fag shit. And then they're super opposed to it. And then they'll say stuff like God thinks that you're gonna go to hell if you're gay and all that stuff. Like they're trying to convince themselves.
I mean, I think so. Especially in our culture, it's very taboo. But I know there's a big secret life kind of category that Albanian men live, where to the point where some, like my friend, she worked at this hotel in New York City, and she would tell me the details of how these men who are married, have kids at home, whatever, bring these huge men, black, built, ginormous men with them to the hotels and get their assholes ripped apart, I guess, or vice versa. I
I
don't
was
know.
not
But
expecting that ending.
yeah. And then it's like you see the relationship that they have at home with their wives, and it's like they hate women, they hate their wives, and they're just like, and then they're all about their boys, and I'm like, yo, I think they're all secretly gay. All this affection for the bros, but not for your wives or your girls at home. Or I'm just wondering,
Do you think
why?
that's going to be a big thing in the whole Diddy thing? Is the amount of men on there that are totally ferrying out?
Well,
Maybe.
God,
Or do
I
you
was
think
just
that's
looking
the
at
biggest blackmail until of adults doing adult shit? I don't, before we get to all the nefarious shit of
but
I
just
will
looking
say,
at the Big Papa video, Biggie Smalls, and fucking that is a known transgender who was fucking murdered. What's her
yeah,
name? Shamika.
the
yeah.
most
She's a
famous transgender in New York at
yeah,
one time.
When
and
you're
it's
on
all about
drugs,
her. Like, what the fuck?
when you're on drugs as an adult and you're going into a place, let's say it's sexual, and you have ass and titties all over the place and everybody's flirting and touchy, and then you get in that mood. It's like they set the place to be a sexual aphrodisiac. You take these drugs and then maybe scopolamine, so you're kind of participating
Highly
but not
suggestible.
participating, because it's all like a brainwashing system that they set up in there when you're there. The music, the looks, the people, the drugs, the different types of spirits, and God knows what they spike it with as well. So I don't know. You know what happens to those Diddy parties, so why are you going to the Diddy parties is my question. You're an adult and you know what's going on. Why do you still choose to go?
You're into that shit.
Isn't it kind of the similar thing of Oprah and the Weinstein? Everybody in Hollywood knew about Weinstein. So if you were
Mhm.
still hanging out with Weinstein, the other people that I think are up there that we're going to hear about is Clive Davis, David Geffen, anyone that's at really the top of these record companies. You don't
Yeah.
get anything for free. If
Yep.
you own a football team, you don't get anything for free. If you own a professional sports team, you are a next level. When people think millionaires, get the idea of millionaires out of your head. It's these billionaires, they own different levels of things.
Yeah, and they probably had their asses ripped apart in order to get that.
Or probably more likely, all their athletes, their LeBron James, they buck break them in front of the whole team. Is
Yeah,
more likely to happen. Instead of
probably.
their assholes ripped apart, they're probably tiny little dicking a bunch of down low athletes.
Mm.
I don't know.
Speaking of which,
I don't know,
got
but I
I don't
know
like
insider
anal. Like,
information that
God,
the NFL is definitely scripted, by the way. Like, we all knew it, but
definitely.
I know it now.
But like, okay, I get it. We don't have the G spot in there, but like, it is not that pleasurable, really. They say, oh, after a while, like anal could be like, I don't like it. I don't understand it. It's a shithole. It's not attractive. It's stinky. I don't know.
I don't think also like once you go driving your pickup through the dump,
Have a
you
vagina.
really can't drive it through the fancy neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's like it's over
Ugh.
for today.
It's
Yeah,
nasty.
it
It's
is.
disgusting. Like, ugh. Like I have a
You
vagina. Why
got
wouldn't
mud all over your
Are you basically saying you guys aren't into ATM?
whatever that is?
Ass to mouth?
No, not at
No, that's
all.
gross.
No,
That
not at
idea is like,
all.
no,
I
thank
mean,
you.
if you,
Ugh.
like if somebody wanted to do that on their birthday, I
I mean,
I'm like all about hooking up my partner. So if she were into that sort of thing and I would be like, all right, let's
Let me shove my fingers in your ass. Here you go. Enjoy. Here. They do
But-
that. It's like, here, taste yourself. Ugh. No,
right
I
like
won't
this.
even do that. Ugh.
Okay, let's turn let's
well,
turn the
okay.
vehicle.
In the words of my 10th grade health teacher, her name was Mrs. Borda. Like the rule is everyone told you when you went to health class and when she got to the sex ed unit, like you had to ask her about anal sex. So we did. We're like, so Miss Borda, what do you think about anal? She said, don't knock it till you've tried it. Those like famous words. She said it every fucking time, and everybody had to ask her. And that's always what she said.
Tried it. I don't like it.
Don't knock it until you try it.
There is a right way for that, but I won't get into it.
There is, but still,
I have a
it's not
question
as
too.
good as
This is like real talk. Is it something to do with a tightness thing? And do some men have too little of a penis, or some women have too loose of vagina? Is there something with that like some men's penis is too small for them to enjoy like maybe a vagina, and so they need an asshole?
I wish I knew the answer.
I'm not even being facetious. I'm like really asking. And then like I know women's they're flexible, but it's like how long does it take to go all the way back? And so
To me, like the vagina, it has the pressure, if you know how to use it right, to squeeze out a human being out of there. You know how strong, like it's strong. If you knew what you're doing, I don't understand a loose vagina. I
well,
don't
what
get
about
that.
Do
if
your
it's not
Kegel
I
muscles.
see I was
Your
trying
Kegels.
to be politically correct.
Oh,
Do you think there could be so small of a penis? Like, do you think that naturally tiny dick guys prefer anal?
probably
Is what I'm asking.
Probably. Maybe because
Yeah, it's like a
maybe
little tight hole that
hole.
it can tell the difference between liquid and air.
Yeah, it's like the do not enter hole. So it's like trying to push you out, maybe, and stop force. That's like, get out.
Getting into the
Ugh.
anatomy of the butthole tonight.
Yeah, you know,
On tonight's episode
when you're
of
taking a
Secret
shit
Society of
kind of
Midnight.
feeling. I'm being real.
The butthole.
Maybe
I
it's
just
not.
have noticed in my lifetime like an exponential amount of like anal talk, anal play, anal, like in my lifetime,
Eggs.
a surge of anal. And so I'm like, we also would gander that certain Fauci type things that were spread in like the 80s or whatever, that
even
if
the
you were
monkeypox.
playing in anal, you would be more likely to catch that. And so it does
That's
seem
what they
like
ask you when you donate blood too. Like, have you participated in anal
Anal
sex in the
sex.
last 3 months?
Nope.
you're like the questions, it's like so curious to me that AIDS, HIV is really the only, until like we went through this whole dance of recent, it was the only one of all the STDs that you had to take out a whole lifestyle survey.
Yeah.
Like what the hell? They're so crazy. Write down all your sexual partners. As if those people were ever honest.
Yeah.
Like it was just some no's from the government to see how. Okay, this
Yeah,
is
to
where I
see
have to
how-
dance around YouTube. I can already feel it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The brainwash of it all.
Yeah, but just a thought, like maybe if they were moving us all into this LGBTQ plus world where it was all like trans and everything like that, then they would have also wanted us to move into anal ahead of time because they want us to forget where babies come from. Is my thought.
And they want men to be into the butthole.
Since they are making human embryos now,
What is?
they're creating human embryos in the science lab. I posted on my story somewhere, and apparently they're trying it out, and it's kind of fucking weird. And it all plays it together. What you're saying, like maybe we're going to be in that demolition man state where people are not going to be having sex anymore, and it's going to be all virtual, and not virtual, but artificial wombs, artificial everything.
How long do you think it would be until we knew that men's sperm count was drastically down?
They already know this. They've been doing studies on male testosterone levels for a long time. They've studied over the past 20 years, and it's in a steady decline. Like it's and it has a lot to do with like talates and stuff, which is like the stuff in plastics, but you can get it from your shower curtain, the stuff in your cleaning products, all of it. But it all directly affects male testosterone levels. So if they don't have enough testosterone, they're not going to produce the amount of sperm that they need to reproduce. So they're saying just over the last 20 years of research, like we're in steady decline, like going into extinction levels, technically.
Yeah. And that's what makes me question, like, is the whole depopulation thing more an attack on men versus women? Because usually women, when it's that problem, it's because not that their egg can't be fertilized, the sperm can't fertilize the egg.
But here's the other issue, though, is that we have our ovaries like intact inside our mother's womb. Okay, so we produce the egg, but let's say our mother is exposed to a ton of talates while she's pregnant with us, and then that affects our ovaries, that affects our eggs.
Mm.
And so then we're exposed to it throughout our life, and we're doing the same thing. So, it does matter what's going into a woman as well, not just the
Yeah.
men. So, like
Oh,
in
absolutely.
my household, since I have sons, I definitely, got rid of the plastic shower curtain. I got rid of a lot of the plastics in my house and stuff, and opted for glass and all of that. But it's like it does affect the women too,
Yeah, I
because you
think
hold all
that
your eggs are already developed.
it seems like if you want to lower sperm count on one side, you could control population. And if you wanted to like deteriorate the population, you could work on the females right
Yeah.
now.
Yep. That's
Like,
exactly
so
it.
then the quality of the babies they were having would be far less, or like
They're
the
gonna
chance
already be born with lower testosterone levels and stuff.
and like the chance of something happening in utero or like something being not formed correctly would I could do all this sort of thing to make like a generation of lobster boys. This is why I think something about the sideshow. They're trying to turn us into freaks.
Yeah. All through the
They
the
must think we're so
technology.
beautiful. They must think we're beautiful like elephants think we're cute.
Yeah, because they do it all for us when you think about it. All of it.
All of this whole charade, this whole charade
From
is
A to Z.
all from A to Z. Think of the amount of billions of dollars because we're ever growing, changing, and always, no matter what, they can't convince all us lemmings to just follow all of them off the hill. One lemming will always be like, I don't know what's down there. I don't know. Like, we're just like such little, like, I just feel like foiled again. Like, like, why, as much as I want to get so mad at us sometimes, like, oh my God, I can't believe we let the world shut down. Oh my God, I can't believe we all believed in 9/11. Oh my God. It's just like, look at how much propaganda that it took. Look at everything that had to happen like dominoes. And still some people were like, you're telling me there could be a deadly virus if I just go outside? I don't even believe it. Like, what if we were wrong? Like it was just something in our intuition that was like, no, I'm not putting the mask on. It was just like there was nothing. They were like, what if we give you bumps on your skin? Would that do it? We're like, What if we
No.
make it
Yeah,
hard
chicken
for you to
pox.
breathe? Mm-mm.
No. Sorry.
People used to get
So
measles
be
all the time.
Yeah, what
It
if we
is what it
fire
is.
you from your job? Guess that's what we're doing. What about if you have to move to another state? Oh, I just
Glad I
think
got
it's
out of
so
California when I
crazy.
did. Fuck.
Foiled again. Like if you were Dr. Evil, and let's say so many people, look how many people are brainwashed every day by just the littlest things. Look how many people play along with everything going on. But then no matter what, no matter how obscure you think your side is, no matter how much of a black sheep, there's 10 people on the internet that have already written that.
Yeah.
There's 10 people out there you can find that they're like, bro, I've been trying to tell everyone space was marshmallows for like a decade now. I'm glad someone's finally here.
Honestly, what we're doing is kind of helping the masses, like especially talking about this and the amount of people that have woken up to it and are screaming at the top of their lungs about it. Today, I seen like a couple of mothers talk about their newborn babies and listening to their intuition for their 2-month, visit. And she's like, for some reason, I just said, you know what? No, I don't want to do that. I just need to do my research. So she goes online and she's like, Moms, what do you think? And the majority of the responses were, don't do it. Listen to your intuition and your gut. Don't listen to anybody else. That is your most, beautiful tool that you could use to like know what is right and what is wrong. So I think we're making a difference. More and more people are just opting out, like natural births, the, no experimentations. Like, I love it because
Do
that's
you
what
think
they are.
do you think some of it had to happen in a way?
Yeah.
Like the other side where it almost had to go down in such a way so that everybody would see like, oh my
Oh my
gosh,
God.
like almost like as much as it sucks, the whole vid of it all could have made everyone wake up to the whole danger of the entirety of big pharma and the
Yeah.
entirety of how bad all of the jibby jabs are.
Yeah. They're even
Do you
seeing the
remember?
difference in the medical system and how they're being treated as patients, Like it's not the same at all. Going to the ER before is so different compared to now and how they run the tests and how they treat the patients. Now they don't give a shit. Like literally, they'll just send you home with ibuprofen. Don't worry, you'll get better. Or don't worry, that's like, no. They do not care. It's like, I don't know what's going on. Something's fishy, but I know people are waking up to this and I see it. But I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Like, I feel like the system does have to change in that field, but like we have to keep some of the things. Just take all that shit out. We don't need that. Certain ones we do. Not vaccines, but like,
do you know, like
Medicines, yeah.
so much of the medicines, like not just medicines, but like the machines, all the machines, those like some office, they have some like marketer come by and this marketer comes by and they're like, you know what? This machine will cost you $1.2 million and this machine freezes the fat off people. And it doesn't matter if it works or not. You'll be able to sell this to people. So if you just sell and they do some numbers and they're like, you're going to make money after this amount of people. The issue is people realize most of the machines inside the offices are fucking scams. A lot of the
Snake
hospitals
oil.
can't even afford the machines that they really need. Like if they need something for PET scans or MRI or CAT scans, you'll notice there's a trailer on the side of your hospital that'll come there occasionally because the actual machines that they should fucking have inside these hospitals, they don't. They have the fat freezing machine and they have these silly
Yeah.
little things that they're still paying on. So then they have to sell it on you. It's not that it's the best thing for you. This is how so many of their like kickbacks, there's a marketer that sells them every fucking pill and every fucking pill. The reason there's a commercial on TV for it is because some of them they can't tell you about. You have to ask your doctor about it because they don't even know yet. And so it's like, I don't know. It's such a wild industry.
Well, like, just like you were saying, that's why so many people go to Mexico to have surgeries and dental work and stuff done because, like, my friends would go across the border when I lived in San Diego to get, like, the LASIK eye surgery because it was so much cheaper to get it done there. And they would have their consultation in the United States. They would go to a doctor in the United States, and the same doctor would do the same surgery, but he would charge, like, in the United States, he had to charge double the amount
Yeah.
because they don't own the equipment. So because they don't own the equipment, he can't charge a cheaper rate. But in Mexico, they own it. So they can take them right across the border. You take a taxi right over to the hospital. You get the fucking LASIK eye surgery done for $600 when it was like $1,200 per eye before. And like he could charge them like just a fraction of the cost just because the facility owns the equipment.
That
And even the drug commercials of it all, because you brought that up. Do you remember when we were kids? Like I remember like there was like one little diet pill commercial, and I always wanted to take diet pills because of it, because it had like little beads in it, and the capsule would open up, and they're like blue and yellow little fucking balls inside of it. And I was like, I think I need that. I think I might be fat. But I was like 5 thinking this shit. But otherwise, it was like food commercials and all of that. And now it seems like every other commercial is a drug commercial.
Yeah.
It's
And
insane.
the fact that a lot of countries in the world don't even need a prescription for a lot of these medications, they're just over the counter. You go to the pharmacy and you could just get whatever you need. In Mexico, the things that we're not allowed to talk about, the hydrox and the ivor, I'm not going to say the rest, but you can get them. You just go to the pharmacy and like, hi, I need this. Dewormers, you need a dewormer, you got it. Anything you need, you can get there. And for a fraction of the price of what you can buy them for here. Like literally pocket change.
My mom is an avid cruiser, and she's taken so many cruises because of her old lady pharmaceuticals, whatever those are that her and her husband needed. Her late husband was on every friggin' anti-cancer, anti-whatever pill, painkillers, everything, like the gamut for the last decade. So they would always go to Mexico to get all their pharmaceuticals, and eventually they take enough cruises, they start getting free cruises. So then they start taking half the money that they would have spent on their pharmaceuticals and they use it in the casino. And then that gets them more free cruises. It's like eventually they set it all up into a system that even going to the hospitals, they don't stay at the hospital because that it's like you're never getting better in the hospital if you have like a frigging bunch of appointments in a row. And my mom would just stay at the Hard Rock because it's by all the hospitals.
Period. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like that kind of the idea that saved her thousands of dollars a year.
Absolutely.
I know, that's amazing. She
It
learned how
is
to work the system.
wild. Yeah, like gambling saved her money.
Because
Interesting.
she did it smart.
Teach me your ways, Miss Patty.
I know. She is interesting. She does have she does stay always in a suite, always has a little balcony. She does seem like she figured it out
The
somewhere.
term "you spend money to make money" kind of makes sense.
She swears there are certain machines that their payout is such a rate that you just bet like a quarter, a dollar, whatever, like little amount per spin. But it's such a rate that, like, let's say you put in $200, you'll never leave the machine for hours and hours and hours. And just sitting there for a long time is how you get free cruises.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not just every dollar you put in, it's every time you press the button. So when it goes up, that all counts as points, even when it's not just when you go down. So if you win $1,000 in a casino, that's, like, let's say that's 1,000 points, the same as if you lose $1,000 in a casino, that's 1,000 points. So it's just like, if you can just sit there and make the machine do this enough, then you figured out something that, even if, like, let's say you're losing $25 an hour, but it takes you 6 hours to sit there and play this machine to get a free cruise next time.
Yeah.
It's
Not too
also
shabby.
it's entertainment, period. Like if you're gonna go out for a night out anyway, that's the way I look at it. It's like you're gonna spend X amount. So
Yeah, you just take whatever you need. Don't go crazy and take all your fucking cards and like, oh, the down payment $250,000 for a house or whatever, or like put your house on the line. Yeah, don't do that.
Speaking of, this is so silly. I'm a huge UFC fan.
Mm.
And there was a fight last night, and it was Renato Moicano versus Saint Denis. in Paris. And everyone, Hinato Moicano, when I played him, he was like, let's say plus 260 underdog. So that is like in betting terms, like if you bet $100, you get 260 in return. So it plus your bet. So then I bet that, but then I also bet Hinato Moicano inside the distance. So let's say that was 700 plus 750. So I made a crazy weird bet on Hinato Moicano inside the distance and for him to win outright, and he was a good underdog. I won round 3 finish, which it got off the stool for round 2, and then the doctor called it before they went into round 3. So I even wrote on Twitter or on X, I was like, if it goes into round 3, like if it finishes in round 3, it's steak dinner tonight. Like it's next level, because it was so many bets by that point. But I ended up making a crazy good little bet. So it was just
Nice.
like Hinato Moicano, more money Moicano. If you are a fan of MMA and haven't checked out his podcast, it is super fun. He's funny. He says real shit. He's my second only to MMA guru. But yeah, I'm an MMA nerd, and it was a great fight night last night.
Nice.
It's
I don't
fun
watch
sometimes.
it really. I used to be into that younger, but like as I got older, I'm like, oh, I can't look at it anymore.
I've been thinking about that. I was like, I need Chaney to show me some moves when we're down there again, because that was kind of fun last
It
time.
was like emotional control for me. I'm like, oh my God. Like, and then you get into it sometimes and you're fucking like enraged, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't take this. Like,
That's the whole thing. Some guys try to get inside other guys' head to make them fight enraged.
ugh.
And so I have checked out Jesse on Fire. He kind of annoys me a little bit. He has another podcast. Did I just skip it here? But yeah, he's I check out a lot of the podcasts though. I'll even watch Fighter and the Kid sometimes. That's heresy. It's Brennan Schaub. It's really just two dudes that wouldn't be famous if not for Joe Rogan. And so, but all of the fight companions always used to be those two dudes and Eddie Bravo. And Eddie Bravo was one of the only dudes that Joe would have on like the past few years when Joe fell off conspiracy altogether and got owned by Jack Dorsey and like really showing his DARPA flag.
Yeah.
Eddie was the only one that would come on and still be like, but what about pasta fences? Or what about flat earth? Or what about, and Eddie still like talked some shit that was like entertaining to me. So
nice.
they used to do fight companions, and that's when a bunch of conspiracy would come up. And before there was like Sam Tripoli tinfoil hat or any of that shit, it was only there that you could kind of get your conspiracy feed. So even if you weren't a huge fight fan, because they didn't just talk about the fights, it was on somewhere off screen that you couldn't see it. It was just them hanging out. So if you were watching the fights, you'd listen to them as a companion. Sometimes I have this fantasy of doing it with the certain people now. Yeah, it was like one of the only places you could find conspiracy from like 2012 to like 2017. I mean, besides Alex fucking Jones, but
yeah. And then for me, it was who was it? That flat earther that died. What was his name? He wrote a couple books. He was the first like real flat earther. Eric Dubay, him. Like that's when I really like got into like deep dark conspiracy. Like that's what broke it up. Like really opened my mind per se. Like conspiracy started 9/11, but then Eric Dubay and that whole flat earther movement, and I forgot the other guy's name. He wrote a book, The Tree of Life. Anyway, I smoke too much. My brain ain't working right now. Slow mode on.
What I forgot already, you guys, what one thing did I wrote on X today, and shout out to the people that have been watching us on X. I don't know if it's like been a few thousand at one point, a few hundred at other times, but thank you. And to the loyal few hundred people over on Rumble and on the Secret Society of Good Guys channel on YouTube, big up your blood clot self. So like, thank you for always showing up, and all the people that never type in the chat.
We see
thank you
you.
for being here. Yeah. And then all of the hoodlums that do hang out and keep us on our toes and keep us laughing. Like, some of the stuff that goes on in our chat when we get off air, we'll talk about it. And we'll be like, did you see so and so try to get us off rails, or so and so heated me up, or so and so triggered me? And so we do love you out there, and we appreciate that you hang out with us on Sunday nights and all the nights that
Oh
you hang out.
shit!
So
Are we calling the White House tonight?
oh yeah, we do have to.
That was so funny. Oh my
Hold
god,
on.
I died laughing watching
let's
that.
let's pull up the post again. I
It's
have
so
to.
good. I was like, I'm gonna ask for Kamala. She's like, oh shit.
I know. I want to almost pull it up from last week and watch it real quick. Here, I should go to our Rumble channel and watch it real quick from last week. And so you guys know what we're up to this week if you missed last week.
Good call. Good memory. Whoever said that.
Oh, I know. I'm so grateful that our chat and you guys, if you come up with any funny questions, we really do have big plans for Wednesday night and producing something that we think you guys will enjoy and hopefully find entertaining and funny. But because you guys make us laugh all the time, we do want you included. So if you have any weird questions, just random questions, that it might be that you'd ask, like if we were all hanging out in a group of 10 people and we all were like, getting baked or not, or just meditating or just sitting there praying and getting all enlightened. And we were like, what is one question that you would ask the universe? And it was kind of like an evil apples version of that question. That would be fantastic.
What are we asking tonight? But it shouldn't be something where you're gonna be like, yo, we need to arrest her. Like, it has to be like something entertaining.
Not yes or no questions either. They have to be open ended, where a person actually
So-
has to put thought into them.
So, how you doing tonight? So, we should ask how they're doing and then follow up with the question. So, do you think Kamala Harris will be the next president of the United States, or do you miss Donald Trump being president of the United States? That's what I should ask. Or is Donald Trump the actual sitting president of the United States? I have a question.
So anyways, I can't find it right now because I should have had it prepared ahead of time. Anyways, last week, if you weren't here, there is a Q post, and in the Q post, it says the music is about to stop, and it has a phone number in it. And so I called the phone number earlier in the day, and I was retelling the conversation to Layla that I called, and it was accidentally the White House. And she was like, I'm going to call right now. And so she called on air last week, but we just hung up. So then we told the audience to remind us that we're going to call every week at this time, but we wanted to come up with a good question. So,
is there
should
is
I
there
ask?
still razor wire up around the White House?
Is Trump the Antichrist?
No. I don't even like that question.
I know, but like it'll be a funny question to ask them though. I don't know. What should I ask?
I kind of like what about, does Kamala Harris listen to Paula Abdul?
Oh, I was just wondering, does Kamala Harris listen to Paula Abdul? All right. Thank you very much. Bye.
Can you put this on a list of questions that I'd really like to know if Kamala...
Does Joe Biden still live in the White House?
202.
Yeah, is Joe Biden's address still there?
4561414.
If I write a letter to the White House, so is it going to get to Joe Biden?
What do I ask?
Ask for the number to Mar-a-Lago.
Oh, I will. By any chance, do you happen to have the number to Mar-a-Lago? Because I want to
when they answer, be like, "Oh, the
I'm
White
sorry.
House. Who lives there right now?" And then when they tell you, they'd be like, "Do you have the number to Mar-a-Lago?"
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Oh my God.
Get your acting face on. We have to learn. Hold on. I'm already
For
laughing.
quality and training purposes, this call may be monitored but will not be recorded. The White House?
Oh, this is the White House?
Yes, this is the White House.
I'm sorry. Do you happen to have the number to Mar-a-Lago?
The number for where?
Mar-a-Lago, so I can speak to President Trump.
So the best way to get in contact with former President Trump would be through his official website. You can submit a contact form.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yep. Have a great evening.
Bye.
You did a great job.
Okay.
That was a
did.
10 out of 10 acting. It's
was.
going to get better every week.
Okay. I'm like shaking.
It
Like,
was so
literally.
silly and so little.
Yeah, well, the best way to get in contact with President Trump is through his website.
Former President Trump.
Oh, is
Did you
that
hear
what she
that?
said?
No,
Former?
is that what she said?
She did. She said former President Trump.
They work for the other side, whoever that was.
It was a good
Yeah.
job.
Damn it.
It
All
sounded
right,
very
pin that, y'all.
professional.
Pin that.
Yeah, and we'll have to come up with that was on the spot, but we'll come up with a better question for next time. Oh my gosh.
I'm an
it's
American
so
citizen. I
funny.
could call the White House. I just asked a legit question, and this is for the record.
Oh,
Okay.
Brittany said she didn't say former. I swear I heard it though.
I didn't hear it either.
Weird. Why did my
The
brain
best
do
way
that?
to get in contact with President Trump
You were
is through his
waiting for her
website.
to, you were like, former, did she say former? You were saying it back to yourself. Former President Trump.
I'll just tell them the truth. Like, we wanted to like call and ask the White House questions. Nothing
Oh,
is wrong
Lucy
with
said
that.
she did say former.
Oh, she said
I-
former? Fucking. No, it's not the former.
I don't know. Somebody will have to
I'm still
timestamp it
shaking.
and go. Oh my
That
gosh.
was an
What?
adrenaline rush. Ugh, for no
You're allowed
reason.
to call the White House.
Huh?
We should call DeSantis now.
Oh, we should call other people. then.
What is going on? So I've been seeing stuff about the storm, like maybe it's flooding in certain places. And so shout out to all the people in Asheville or northern Georgia or anywhere that it might be flooding on you. And
St. Pete that got fucking demolished, right? In North Carolina.
St. Pete got demolished.
Yeah.
A lot
in
of places
Florida?
got demolished.
Yeah, Florida.
Tennessee, North Carolina.
Worst it's been hit in 100 years.
This
I don't
is
know.
like-
Sometimes some of the pictures that I look at on TikTok, it's like bars that they're tiki bars. And so people, it's like I worked at so many of those places over the years that it's like, look at this, all looks empty. But if you saw it beforehand, it was like a structure made of driftwood and some tarps.
You
So
know,
I don't know.
It's this.
It's kinda like they
was
did
really
Andrew.
weird.
Andrew was
because-
all houses that were all like box houses thrown up for like transient workers. And they kept showing this area of all demolished houses, but it was all never real Florida houses. All those houses are still there. It was always like plywood
we
houses.
were right
Well,
next.
check this
door-
out. This is what Brittany Picklespear said. She said, so she ran the numbers with St. Pete. The Hurricane Helene happened 66 years ago. They declared St. Pete a smart city on September 26, 2019, which was 66 months ago. It sounds like a ritual.
Something was weird about this whole hurricane, and a lot of it, I would say, is geoengineering and HARP because I've seen patterns of it. But another thing that was strange was we were like right near it. But when I tell you, it was not like hurricane type. It was just like wind gusts here and there. Yeah, it rained, but it wasn't anything crazy like compared to
You
the other
were on
hurricanes.
typically that side of the storm
It's
is
so strange.
like the weakest part to be at in the storm.
I was
Like you were
thankful.
in the luckiest quadrant of a hurricane.
Like I was
I-
waiting
know they harp and geoengineer and they seed plant and all this shit, but also like every part of Florida has its season of like its month that it's most likely to get hit.
Yeah.
Like it's like if you look at a calendar, like one side of Florida typically gets hit by hurricanes during a certain, cycle. Like Louisiana gets hit by hurricanes during a certain cycle. Like it's just seems like it would only come in those 2
I
months
don't know
out
if
of
you
the
guys can
year.
see this. So my daughter sent probably not to my green screen. It's a chemtrail, but like half of it is just this black line in the sky. Like half it's white and the other half is just she's like looks so freaking weird. They've never seen anything like it before.
I've seen some shadows on chemtrails. And then somebody was saying this, which I had never heard before. This is in the last few weeks. I wish I could shout out who said this because it totally wasn't my idea, but I've only seen that shadow we look on chemtrails. They said the chemtrail we actually see is them covering up how dark the chemtrail they lay is. So they lay this super dark line in the sky. But if we all saw super dark lines in the sky, we'd be horrified. So they lay the cloud lower to us. And so it spreads out bigger. So it kind of shadows that line. So sometimes when people see both, it looks like a shadow.
Well, last time I flew to Florida to see you guys, I noticed it was so weird, like being up in the sky and seeing them doing that like actively while I'm looking out the window, like all over the place. There's all these planes flying and freaking dumping chemtrails, and it was these black lines above the cloud. It's like I'd never seen that
I've
when I
seen
flew
'em.
before, and now it's just like that's all they fucking do. You just see it the whole time you're up in the air.
And when I saw that, I was driving. Where I was driving, I don't know, but somewhere in Florida. I think I was going down to Orlando at that time for that last meetup that we had. But anyway, I was looking up at the sky and I saw that one plane just drawing the fucking chemtrail, but it was only that one plane. And then right on top of that, you see the shadow of it like in the sky, but no clouds behind it, like literally on the sky. And it was like almost like the reflection off of something, but there was nothing there to reflect off of. So I'm like, this was just a weird phenomena all on its own. Like it reflected off the firmament or something. I don't know. It was odd.
Becky Brittany Pickle Spears also wrote an Ellen 66, which Ellen Helen, but Ellen also had her comedy special just come out on Netflix, and it probably was the same day as Landfall. And when I was also looking at this, I thought it was super interesting that it was Helen landing on Athena. Like when you looked at the eye of the storm as it came on shore, it was like Helen and Athena in the circle. And
That's crazy.
yeah, I thought that was super nuts because
Symbolic.
yeah, they love that Hellenistic shit.
Weird.
Oh, and then
Such a ritual.
leads us into another thing, which I can't believe I've never thought about in my whole life. But somebody, it was Raven on X, said something about like, somebody wrote like, why was Jesus crucified? That's all they put. And then everybody answered it. And somebody put to fulfill his prophecy. And I was like, it never dawned on me that he had a prophecy. Like I always have thought of him as a prophet, but never that he himself has a prophecy, the same as all these other lowercase gods.
Yeah.
And
He did. Read Psalms 22. It's all about the crucifixion, and everything said the Psalms are just songs and that they don't necessarily have meaning. But Psalms 22 is literally word for word the crucifixion of Christ. Everything that happens, they cast lots for his clothes. They, all the things. So there's but that's not the only prophecy about Jesus's life, death, and crucifixion. Like as he's going towards this crucifixion, they were like, why don't you stop this? This doesn't have to be done. And he goes, no, all the prophecies must be fulfilled. Like he knew what he was here to do. He knew it had to be done.
Interesting.
Isn't it super interesting that we're getting, when you look into everything about Zeus and Helen, and we're talking about all these other gods and things like that. Well, Helen's different because that's when you go into like Helen of Troy, Helen of Sparta, which is still interesting because she's like a human god hybrid, supposedly lowercase god.
Yeah.
But it's just curious that they all have prophecies and like prophet. They're prophets. They're
Yeah.
like a prophet of what? A prophet of like if they were if there was a business, they're also a prophet of that
Pure
business.
piety. Yeah.
Now, in Islam, they believe that Jesus did exist and he had his miracles. One of them, him speaking at the birth and protecting his mother at the birth and helping his mother like pick the right fruit to eat to heal. But in Islam, they believe that it appeared to everybody that he was crucified, but he was actually taken up into heaven. Like, what's the word? Ascended. God brought him up and ascended into heaven. And
Yeah.
then my question to Muslims is like, out of all the prophets written in the Bible, even Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, why did God took Jesus up there? Why was he the only one to be taken up there? That is so symbolic in itself, and they ignore that completely. Like, oh, it's
In
not
the
a big
Quran.
deal. No, but it's a big fucking big deal. You guys are not even paying attention to that part. Like, it is so symbolic for him to ascend, his being, his whole being to ascend into heaven, body, spirit, soul, all of it. And I'm just like, y'all are like, you guys, they try to demonize it like, oh, he's not a god, he's not. But maybe there's something to it that you guys are not understanding, like who he was and why he was chosen to be ascended up
Yeah.
into heaven out of all of them.
Well, and then in the
So,
Bible, there is 2 others that were ascended as well that never died, that they were just taken straight up. And it was
oh,
Elijah and Enoch.
huh.
So they
I
didn't
gotta
die.
look
They
into
never
that
died. Yeah.
in the
So, I
Quran.
mean, I wonder what the Quran has to say about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to look into that. I didn't know that.
Elijah and Enoch.
We all finished Chaos, right, on Netflix?
Yep.
You guys, this is such an interesting take on this story, and they play
Oh,
so true to everything that these stories think. They just kind of modernize it a little bit in a parallel universe, but it is so interesting if you think about these lowercase gods in a way that they can only exist if they're idolized, and they all get like a certain amount of people that are allowed to idolize them, and then how the statues matter for how they are idolized. And then you think, I just always go back to like all of our statues being torn down and what those idolizations could have really been up to. Like, it was
yeah, look at all
important
the
that we didn't
chaos
see
now.
them. Yeah, it was like when the statues come down, like chaos reigns. Such an interesting show
Throughout
just for
all of history.
philosophy, you guys. And even this question now, because I am typically a person where it's like the Trinity, like Jesus, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. And so I always think of like Jesus having this internal knowing of God, not ever a prophecy. Who would have given him a prophecy about himself?
Yeah.
Like, who would have given him his prophecy? And so all these other gods kind of have prophecies that they all get from who's the lady's tongue? The
Yeah, the tongue. I don't remember.
Hera.
yeah, we forget that part. You guys
Hera.
shout it out in the chat. But everybody kind of gets their prophecies, like from the fates.
Oh,
From the
Everybody gets their
fates, yeah.
prophecy from the fates. And so it's just interesting that no matter what, even like the part of the Trinity of something that even God says you should put all other gods before me and don't have any graven images of any of these kind of false idols, because then it kind of gives power. He's even saying there's these lowercase gods, and then I never even think that that depiction of this Greek to Roman lore still is over there. And then it also blew my mind of the Zoroastrians knew Christ was going to be born in a manger the day he was born. They knew because the stars told him the day that he was going to be born. And then it made me question if you could read the stars that well. Did they know that day that he would die 33 years later? That day, they knew, like, he had a prophecy that day. Like it was easy to find him because he was going to do this whole thing. And even like if people are like, oh, they think Christ was real or not a savior, look at kind of where we're at in the world right now. it's like, even in an egregore sense, it's the energy of that is real. Like, you can't deny
The power
that.
of Christ compels.
Yeah, you can't deny that. It's, like, pretty wild to think
Yeah.
of, even if it was a prophecy, even if all the other fates, even if the other lowercase gods all exist, it still is something about the God in flesh to
Yeah.
fulfill his prophecy.
Yeah. It's
You know?
strange.
Pretty
'Cause
wild.
yeah, Muslims don't like the idea that, oh, God can't be a human. But then I say to them, it's like, how can you limit God to that sense when God can do whatever,
Whatever. Yep.
whenever he wills it? And if he wanted to show up in the form of a human, he can do that. Who are you to limit God in that sense when
What
you're
if
nowhere
God
near
was one
that
of
spectrum
us?
of his glory or its glory, whatever? So that's
Yeah.
that. I don't know.
And that is that.
That is that.
Period.
I
Yeah.
don't It is, and then, like, Christ has died, Christ is risen, Christ will come again, and then I also think this is so wild. Mary's there for all 3 of these stages.
Mm-hmm.
Like, his mom is there for all 3 of these stages for him.
That's what I find so bizarre about the Catholic Church, because really it's more about Mary worship in my head. Because what do they say? Like, when you're having to do penance and stuff, you have to do X amount of Hail Marys, like praying the rosary as the Hail Marys, like
Well, the womb had to be chosen. It can't
Mary's
just be
Emperor.
any
Yeah.
womb, right? If
No.
you're being
Yeah.
touched by God, it has to be a particular essence or DNA or soul or God knows what. And then you have the version of the people in the Talmudists calling her a whore. And these are the Zionist understanding of what Mary is. And yeah, they spit on Jesus, their mother, their whore. That's what they call her. And that's disgusting. But then you have this whole Republican side who are like so pro Zionist, so pro whatever's happening right now. And it's just like, are y'all are like in some crazy indoctrination.
Do
And
we
it's
ever
like,
hear about, like, Mohammed's mother?
there is a story on her. I just don't know it. I never look into it because she was not like she wasn't chosen for anything. He was apparently.
But he was a prophet too, right? He's not a savior. He's the
No, he's
prophet.
just a prophet. But
Yeah.
people are now like putting him as almost like a form of Jesus. Like you can't go through God without going through Muhammad and
Your
how he
intercessor.
lived his life. But the whole purpose of him being the messenger is bringing the message, and that's the Quran. But now you have people who go by hadiths, which are his life stories written by people 200 years after the fact. And then people are taking his life and incorporating it into a religion, the way they lived lives back in the barbaric era of time. These barbarians, so we're not barbarians anymore. Okay. There's a one way to connect to God, and it's the direct link.
Fuck
You
around and
are
find
it.
out.
You are it. You're the temple. What do we have here? What are these called right here? The temple?
Do you
Right?
think, like, more so than, like, a temple or that idea, two in my name it shall be, like, if you're sharing that kind of stuff with 2 people, it's God's there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Because-
you're all trying to make that same connection with, so it's many lines going to that point.
Did you guys all see Trump walking in with Zelensky?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I have to find the real one because I only can find the fake ones, and even the fake ones make me laugh. Here, I'll
Trump
put-
said twice on the Philadelphia thing. I think one of the Q posts are enjoy the show. He said it twice.
Did you see how he posted
his
on his
rally.
Instagram, Saint Michael, like the angel
yeah,
Michael?
let's.
Mm-hmm.
So This is them standing by each other.
He looks so uncomfortable.
Awkward.
And they like walked into the room and look how little he is compared to Trump, dude.
Yeah. He looks
And then
uncomfortable.
look at this shit. This is what people because because that's what I want to find the real one so you guys can kind of get the comparison. But like what a I know it's like he's so tiny, Zelensky.
Mhm.
And I heard rumor too that there was official Russian dignitary planes also flying in, like people that plane fag and follow numbers on planes. There was official planes flying into New York at the same time Zelensky was here.
Yeah, it
So
was Joe
people are
Biden, Zelensky, Obama, Trump, P. Diddy, all there at the same day. I forgot what day it was.
Oh, speaking of New York, like the mayor and all the freaking cabinet and the chief of police and all that stepping down. Did you guys see that? Or
Guys,
getting fired
just
and indicted? They're all freaking going to jail. It looks
just
like
wait. I have a feeling something big is gonna come out
crazy.
for Kamala. Just wait for it.
Isn't there some like one of the prosecutors too on like the faux Trump case in New York is like on the lam?
I didn't
Probably, I
see,
didn't hear.
but
I
I
could be
wouldn't.
making that up.
No, I bet that's
Somebody's
right.
on the lam. Someone's on the lam. But yeah, it is interesting what's going on in New York.
Well, you know what's kind of scary? The whole UN situation and what they passed.
What's new?
Yeah,
What's
tell
the
us.
new passage?
I believe they something about our sovereignty and how they're trying to create a one world government or something like that. But they passed something with the UN, 100. I forgot how many votes, but it happened, and nobody's talking about it because we're so distracted by the P Diddy of it all. Yeah.
And the
Uh,
23andMe
hold on.
stuff.
I don't think anything's a distraction. Like, I think everything deserves its place. I
Yeah.
don't think anything's a distraction. Like, if people are trafficking humans, and especially if Hollywood is crumbling, I don't think it's a distraction. I just think people have one-track minds a lot of the time. But I
Yeah.
think all of it is worthy of daylight. I just think it's all going to happen at once. It's all just going to keep crumbling down into such a speed that it's like, holy shit. Like, we already know everything they tell us is fake, but it's going to
Yeah.
be to the point so that the normies are going to be like, oh, where's my mind? They're going to be the pixies. Where is my mind?
Where is my mind?
But there was something else with that. Zelensky, Trumpy, politicians, blah.
I'm trying to find a UN thing.
Yeah, the UN thing. But there was UN, the Royals, Diddy. Oh, everyone's stepping down in New York. I don't know. I just it's going to be such a big RICO. There's going to be so many people that come tumbling down with this. No one's safe. Do you know how many people have been to Diddy parties?
A lot. Dude,
Like,
okay, Donald Trump's post about Saint Michael the Archangel. He posted a picture of him and he said, "Defend us in battle, be our defense against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him. We pray, or we humbly pray, and do thou, O Prince of the heavenly hosts, be the power of God. Cast into hell Satan and all the evil spirits who prowl about the world seeking the ruin of souls. Amen." Such a fucking interesting post from President Trump there.
So this was 6 days ago. WHO meeting today in New York. U.S. House Republicans rally against the UN and World Health Organization to protect American sovereignty. And I think they passed the bill or whatever yesterday. And it doesn't look too good for the United States of America. The WHO will have like the say so, like the blue helmets. Let's call them that, the blue helmets.
Who the fuck are they?
I'm saying this for real. I'm gonna say it.
I
on
dare
my-
them.
That's how I feel. Like, I always, if you want to see, like, I hope the
so.
UN has some brass enough to
I
come
hope
up
so.
on my shores with some blue helmets. I hope that you want to
Not
see a
today.
united America in a way that you're like, is that Bloods and Crips with a bunch of rednecks coming after us right now in four-wheelers? It sure is.
Yeah.
It
When
sure
it
is.
comes down to it, yeah, black, white, left, right, this, that. But when it comes to our freedoms and our sovereignty, fuck around and find out. You'll see what happens. You'll see what happens. This is not a joke. Like, we'll all come together. It's not funny.
I'm not kidding
Yeah.
either. There's like a saying that there's a gun nozzle behind every grass blade in America. And Americans, they've been trying, y'all. They've been trying to get us to pit it against each other, against a battle of the sexes, black versus white, Christian
Mhm.
versus Muslim. It's like they've been trying to set up these battles for the George Floyd of it all, the O.J. Simpson of it all. LA has tried everything in their power. Like, we'll just throw a rock into the water and eventually it'll reverberate out. They'll helter skelter. This is how long they've been talking about this shit. We won't draw arms on each other. Americans don't even want to go to war with other countries. That's why they got to 9/11 us and Pearl Harbor us.
Thank
We
you.
won't do that shit. That's why they got to false flag us every time. So I just feel like, but fuck around and find out. You know how many veterans that are they're like, oh, I'm just
They're waiting for this moment.
They're just
They're
waiting
just
to train
waiting.
civilians on what this means and
The
this.
fuck out of here.
Cover me.
And how many people have lived through fucking hell and went through hell just to come to this United States of America the right way? The right way, okay? And maybe some not the right way, but they come here and they respect the laws and they do what they can and pay their taxes or whatever, be a good citizen and follow the rules, whatever, the system. But they will do everything in their power to be part of the Americans and protect this land too. So you have a lot of people with a lot of passion who want to protect their freedoms just as much as Americans. So Albanians are on that. Trust me.
Every time, I think it's so interesting that every single time before, like, if they can't get the guns, they'll start the change shortage because change is your country's metal. It is more currency than the dollar and it's more currency than the crypto. It's conductive metal, but it's more important than that. You can make a 3D printed gun to shoot change.
Yeah.
Well, that takes me back to 1943, the steel pennies. That was the year of the steel pennies. They minted all steel because it was they were using all the copper to make bullets and stuff for World War II.
You know what else is happening that no one's really talking about?
Layla,
October
fucking making
1st.
me need my flag.
They're having a strike supposedly at the ports.
Isn't that interesting? A way so they can shut off all the ports?
Yeah, they're closing down or something about the ports. They're going on strike and south all of Florida, the whole side of it. I forgot what company. So they're talking about how there's going to be a food shortage. It's like nothing new in history.
Strike. Food shortage. Longshoremen unions demand for total ban on automation question as port strike. U.S. East Coast port strike set to start Tuesday. So the East Coast. USMX files unfair labor practices charge against expert shortage of bananas, booze, chocolate, and cherries.
And
that is
that's
calm.
it.
That's what this is what CNN all day too. Expect shortage of bananas, booze, chocolate, and cherries if there's a long port strike. They're telling they're telling people, SpaghettiOs. I wonder.
Toilet paper.
You're just telling me it's happenstance that a whole RICO act of human trafficking is tumbling down and there's a port strike.
That's why I felt like it had to do with human trafficking somewhere. I know, right?
Damn, Evergreen.
Evergreen, Hillary Clinton's code name. Also, probably and I think it's so interesting too. They have us convinced we want tiny homes. So they're mocking us so that we all move into our shipping container so they can stack them on top of each other for Ready Player One. But also, this is a trigger for me where I'm just like in our face mockery, the Dexter of it all. He comes over human trafficked and everyone dies inside his human trafficking container and he lives, but he's the superhero that kills pedophiles. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Bladder specialist.
I'm just happy whatever is happening, real or not real, whatever the show is producing, if we're going to play these characters, since we're all playing characters, because we are, I like what's happening. It's slowly crumbling. And we don't have to, pay attention to these movie stars. It's like the falling stars. Like they
It
are
is the
falling.
falling stars. Like the sky is falling. The
Yeah.
sky is falling like Chicken Little. That's why I always called my when I was an Anon and I was conspiracy chicken forever. I always was conspiracy chicken because I felt like the sky is falling. But I just wanted to bring down Hollywood celebrities and hip hop artists and everything
Yeah.
like that.
Well, that's what I loved. Somebody posted something, on TikTok, and I'm sure they were religious, and it kind of turns me off. But he just talked about a third of the Book of Revelation says a third of the stars will fall from the sky. It's like a third of the stars. We're watching that fucking happen in real time right now, and it wasn't the stars like I was thinking.
Mm-hmm. So strange.
And I wonder if it's like everyone with light shared on them, like this. Like not just the stars we think that are illuminated by the
Yeah.
Hollywood Walk of Fame, but the newscasters, the sport stars, the
Influencers,
musicians,
politicians.
influences,
Broadcasters, the cast.
broadcast, podcast.
Yeah. We're not that though. We're like the good.
We're the good guys. That's what's
Okay.
up. It's in our name.
Good guys.
You are all
Good guys,
magic.
good guys.
You just got to use it. It's natural. It's the natural magics of it all.
This is what, speaking of, you guys are all magic, and I need you here right now because I'm going to do a spell. I wish I could snap my fingers and the back turn to flames. I'm going to set all that shit up. I have all different buttons.
Click with the
and
other
stuff
hand.
that I've been messing with. Yeah.
There you go. You got flames right
like-
behind your head right now. You did it.
Well, I'm glad you guys are all here because we aren't going to let Jimmy Carter make it to its 100th birthday now, are we?
No.
No.
So this is why this can't happen. This is why there's a swimming bunny on the thumbnail of this podcast. It has nothing to do with the insensitivity of people that are actually flooding in a hurricane right now and people that might be rescuing animals. It's actually to do with, there was this video once of Jimmy Carter, or pictures taken of, he said, it was hissing at me and then it was swimming right toward me. And he said there was a swamp bunny swimming toward him. And so he hit it with a paddle, and Secret Service members just caught this bunny swimming away and him sitting inside the boat. So I put a swamp bunny on here because I'm like, gonna get you, Jimmy Carter, gonna get you this time. I just am like, this is why it matters, you guys.
Tackle.
When he dies, and I think all these people they keep on ice, they're all Osama bin Ladens to me. They're all Jeffrey Epsteins. They're all Elvis that has left the building when they decided to pull the character's plug. So, what's this idiot's name? Joe Biden is supposed to give the eulogy. Also, this is a state funeral. It's been a while since we've had a state funeral. The state funeral is the most fun because it's where the white envelopes happened, but it's also where they shamed fucking Colin Powell, dancing queened him in. This is always like the lowdown of the lowdown. You want to know who was into butthole play? Let's play dancing queen as they come in at their funeral, and then tell everyone it was his favorite song.
That's
That
hilarious.
you just did your boy dirty. You just did him dirty as hell.
Yeah, you
Oh
did.
my goodness.
I liked when you whispered like that. Like I really felt you were letting me in on a secret.
Oh, noted. Is it
Yeah.
ASMR?
You should do that.
AMSR?
Yeah, you need to do that more often.
Do a whisper cast.
Oh yeah. I can't believe I called the White House again. Well, I said I was gonna do it, so we're gonna do it.
Yeah, we're gonna do it next week. I
Mhm.
like if you're like, "Hi, I'm Layla." At the beginning, you should start saying your name. "Hi, I'm Layla from the Secret Society." Go, guys. I just wanted to ask, and so that way, when you start calling, that they're like, "Hi,
Oh, hi
Layla."
Layla.
We'll do that. What's the
I
question this
called
week,
last week and
Layla?
I asked if I could get the number from Mar-a-Lago. I'm from the Secret Society of Good Guys, and I just wanted to know. Well, do you miss Donald
we
Trump?
were on a watch list.
I know I'm already
Yeah,
on your
right.
watch list, but what the hell? Do you miss Donald Trump? Seriously, like mano and mano.
Mono.
I'll get better,
mono.
and I won't hyperventilate like I was getting hot.
If you were, it does seem like just we're gonna play in the characters that were given to us.
Yeah.
If you were in the White House under the Clintons, like there's a good chance like you're getting your ass grabbed, creepy stuff's going down, like it feels a little dirty, you don't want to lose your job, and it's also you're in the like White House under Bush. It seems like Dick Cheney was literally a dick. Like you were always scared and like a little intimidated, and he'd be like, "Get out of here, you fucking moron," and you'd be like, "Ah." Like it seems like it would have been horrible. And then Obama and Michelle come in, and maybe you would have been like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so excited." And then he like reeks of cigarettes and he's like, it's like all like, whoa, this was unexpected. And they're like, ghetto boo as shit. And then you're like, Michelle, I think Big Mike has a dick. And then you get there. It seems like Trump is the kind of dude, just in general. And I just know some of these people in the service industry. And if you work in those places, everybody has that regular that comes in and has 20s, 100s, 5s. They don't ask anything extra. They get a tea. Sometimes they'll just be like, "Hey, Layla, let me get my regular." And it's like a steak medium with asparagus, nothing special, but they give everyone the person that seats some money. They give the bus boy money. They give that's how Donald Trump feels to me. Like he's one of those motherfuckers that it's like, oh, Trump's coming. Yeah,
Let's
like
take
he's
care of
just
him.
passing out folded hundreds.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, there's
That's a man right there, though. That's the fucking energy I'm talking about. Not like, oh, so we're splitting 50-50. Yeah, nah. Nah, he's never letting a woman pay. Are you fucking kidding me?
It's so
Be
crazy
like
that
Donald Trump.
me and you had this conversation about how you were like, fuck that. If you want to hang out with me, you're fucking paying. I'm not
Yeah.
splitting shit 50-50 with you. It's like my new algorithm on TikTok is like this girl. It's like she's like gonna pull a joke on her boyfriend. So he gets in the car and she's like, "We can't go out today because I don't have money to pay for you." And he's like, "What the fuck you mean you don't have fucking money to pay for me? When do you ever fucking pay? You're not fucking paying." And then she's like, "But we can't go anywhere. I don't have money." And he's like, "What the fuck are you here?
What do you
Take
need
my
money for?"
wallet. You feel the need to fucking pay? You pretend you're paying." And you like, "Here's my wallet." And it was this whole fucking scene. Like I didn't realize the disrespect of. And I think it's also New England. Like, I think it's your culture, but I also think it's something about that part of the country that's like our oldest part of the country in ways that I didn't even know this in the South.
It's
like about paying,
you
know,
want
like
a
Same as the
feminine
West.
girl.
It wasn't like that at all.
Put her in her feminine, and the being in her feminine is like you being a man and making sure she only has to worry about what to make for dinner. That's it, and she will be glad to do it. But then if she's worrying that she gotta work, pay the bills, take care of the kids, da 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 da, and you're making her life 10 times harder, like you're an extra child. No, like no,
She ain't
honey.
trying to have you on her tit too.
No, the fuck out of here. Like
you got to free up.
you
some
want
of
a
them
mother?
tits.
Go
Yeah.
marry a mother. Do you want a lover? Marry a lover, a best friend. Like make her your queen. You want to be a king? Make her your queen, not your slave. Like the fuck? It's that simple. What woman wouldn't want? What woman wouldn't want to take care of her man if she's being taken care of properly?
Well, yeah, because a woman can't leave her or her masculine energy if she doesn't feel like you're man enough to provide for her. Like,
Thank you.
because you're in your masculine because you have to fucking take care of shit, and that's how you fucking deal with it.
Thank you.
You can't be in your feminine all the time if you have to be the man.
And then you want her
If
to
you have men on your
give
tits.
pussy after all of that too. You want her to give you pussy too. Are you kidding me? Like be the man. Like be that man. Girl, like if you're that man, she'll just look at you like a snack 24/7. What the fuck's wrong with you guys? Like seriously.
Me too.
It's so easy.
I chugged it that time like I did. Even when I watch myself, I don't like it's already hard enough to eat or drink on camera, but for some reason when I chugged it, it felt like I just guzzled cum in that. Like I just looked like I did. I just looked like Chaney just took a load. And then I was like, no one will notice. The girls are talking about interesting stuff.
Yeah. But it's the good stuff. It's the true stuff, you know?
I just tried to get up in the arm of my chair, but my elbow slid off the side.
I hate that.
Shit.
You know what's
Man.
funny is I was thinking about Layla's tits right now, and I was like, wouldn't it be funny if Layla slid off the stool?
What?
I don't think that would ever happen to me.
No,
From her tits? You were looking at her boobs and thought she should fall off the stool?
no, I wasn't thinking she should. I was tking of our guests who did that. It was like showing her
Oh,
tits
because
and
the
fucking
last time we saw good tits on the show, they fell
Yeah.
on the floor.
yeah. It's like Layla ain't even fucking trying to flaunt them. So
I love that you're like
my head went there.
timekeeper. The last great set
I
of
could
tits
fake
that we
it,
had on the
probably.
show were. I wish you had the date of those. I wish Brittany Pickle Spears would keep track of stuff like that so she could say, it's been exactly 33 days since tits fell off the stool.
How did it happen? Like that?
Yeah. And then get back up. You didn't spill your drink.
I do love those kind of girls. Like the one thing I have to big up her about is, when you have those kind of friends, you're all hanging out at spring break, you're in your 20s, you're all like sitting on the beach somewhere and you're all drunk and high on whatever drug, whatever you're up to. And that bitch is walking toward you guys. She has her cute outfit on. She's holding her drink up in the air, but she also has something else that you guys all want. Maybe it's your drink. She takes and eats shit like that, and she stands up, neither drink spills, and everybody is like, yeah.
That's what that moment was. We should do an edit on that. Like,
yeah, we should
circle
turn
the
it all
drink.
back around and replace us with
We need
like,
to write this shit all down. And like, seriously, we need to do so much filming when we're together.
yeah,
Mhm.
but also,
Like
we
skits.
on the show that we are gonna set up for everyone for Wednesday nights. I bet you we can get her back, and we can
Mhm.
do that take again and again.
Yeah. That'd be great.
I think we should. That has to go. We have to have them back.
Yeah.
I'm ready for that.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was a fun show.
I'm ready to plant my flag. Shout out to At the Gray Pill podcast. You guys can find him on X and doing some crazy fun stuff out there. They didn't know they weren't walking into Club Ssgg.
Sorry, Layla, for like
Some
shouting
boots
out your
and
tits on
What?
the podcast.
I like them. They're real. I'm
I
proud
know
of
they
them.
look good. They're pretty.
They are. They got pretty titties. Pretty
Hey,
titties.
you don't know what you're gonna get here at Ssgg Sunday.
I'm telling you, we're just
A
being
real
real. This is how
compliment.
like girls like talk
Yeah,
amongst each
we
other.
do.
So you're gonna get the authentic, like, we don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I know. I feel like, do you guys have something to talk about for a second? If I go get another bottle of,
Jizz juice.
Okay. Talk amongst yourselves. Let me give you a topic. Let me give you a coffee talk topic, but you can really pick whatever you want. Talk among. I don't have one. You guys.
We'll figure it out.
You got it. Okay, BRB.
So, what do you think, Layla, about the second moon? That's supposed to be here today, isn't it?
Yeah, I wanted to actually like look out earlier, but I was like running around trying to set up for the podcast because they said it was like going to appear in 4 hours. But my first initial thought is, what if that's the object that covers the sun and the moon during the eclipses, or like the phases, or whatever? What if it's that body that we never see, but we get to see like once every 2,000 years, and this is the only time that we ever get to see it?
Because I legitimately think that the moon is like artificial and that it's like spacecraft or whatever, because like the hollow moon of it all, I don't know if you've seen any of those theories, but every crater on the moon is exactly the same depth no matter how big it is. And they like did something where they hit it and it just like it rang for like 30 minutes straight. It just made a ringing sound. So
Really?
yeah, so it's like it's artificial, it's like a spacecraft. So the second moon, and I actually asked Dr. Jared, what's his name? Dr. Jared
So what is
Dehanio.
that light that
And he said that this is what he said to me, because I asked him what his thoughts were. He has his own podcast too. Jared Rivera Dehanio. He's a PhD. And
Okay.
it just said, so I'm just curious if you have any thoughts on the second moon asteroid that's supposed to be here. And he said, it's not an asteroid. It's inorganic and mechanical. That's what he
Really?
said to me.
Why?
Yep.
Why did he think that?
Because like in the whole ascension stuff of it all, like
Mhm.
if you look even at the ascension glossary, it says that the moon is like it's put here by like what they call like the negative alien agenda or whatever. Like It's a loosh thing. It's a siphon. And
But what
so
if
it's
it's
almost like
not?
another fucking one is coming.
Because it has its own light, you know, it has its own energy. And we have our like moon persona, like our sun persona, like when it comes to astrology, that's what we portray to everybody else. And our moon sign is what we actually are as our we, like our me, like my true me. So like my
But
true
isn't it
me is like Sagittarius, and what I am to everybody else with this skin that's visible is Pisces. So I feel like the moon is probably somehow connected to us in that sense.
well, and I'm not saying that it's not. And when you
Uh-huh.
think of it, if it is like a giant loosh factor, think about how many people are affected by the full moon and the new moon. It's almost
Yeah.
like radiation is turned all the way up and then it's fucking turned off for a period of time. It's almost like
Hmm.
CERN turning on the Hadron Particle Collider. It's like they're doing some kind of fucking weird experiment. So I'm not saying that it doesn't affect all the
Yeah.
things. I'm just saying, well, of course it does.
Yeah. You got your
Look at that
jizz
jizz juice.
It looks like you mix jizz and water together.
It does.
Uh-huh. Milky.
So it's nice and cold. See, this is my favorites right here. They're watermelon and they are so good. And the chocolate, I'm addicted to it. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm like, okay, I gotta I'm scheduling out when I'm gonna order my chocolate, one for my coffee. This is my migraine helper. You guys, I can't even tell you. Migraines ruled my life. Everything
Well,
caused them. If I ate nitrates, if I got stressed out, if the full moon, like too much sun, migraines.
I learned
Not gonna lie.
something about these headaches and migraines that a lot of people are getting and that they're not aware of, but apparently a lot of people have like leaky sinuses that go up into their brain because of inflammation in their heads, where they get pressure in their head, and they think that they have constantly running noses from sinuses or allergies, but it's actually their spinal fluid leaking into their fucking noses. So a lot of people who got the swabs and kept getting them over and over and over again, that DARPA tech that you put into your nose did something into your brain where it's making you swell and you don't even know it. So that's another phenomena that's happening with the migraines and all of that.
It's not just salt. I knew I was low in the salt, but it's also magnesium and potassium.
Trace minerals.
Trace
That's what we call
minerals.
those.
It's also keto friendly. I didn't even know that, but I think naturally, like the amount of sweetened beverages I drink is significantly less because of the amount of this, and I feel so much more hydrated.
Yeah, you will, because it's like that's the one thing. When I was in boot camp, we'd have to carry around canteens and stuff. And so when you carried your canteen, they'd always tell you to add salt to it when you were in the galley because you don't retain the water unless you have salt in your system.
Ugh.
But magnesium is so important. That's everybody thinks that you need potassium, like when you get cramps and headaches and all that stuff. It's really magnesium. It's really like they're like, oh, eat a banana. No, you need to freaking supplement with magnesium.
I don't like the word leaky either. It's never good.
Leaky
I
gut.
like leaky.
Ugh, what's good leaky?
The vagina. When it's just like leaking.
I don't know. That's a weird word even for that.
It's a good word.
It seems like
good-
you need
Like
to
you're
do
super
some
turned on and it won't turn
leaking.
off and it just leaks and it's just constant, That's a really good sign.
I know leak is weird. It seems a little thinner. Seems like you need to do Kegel exercises.
I don't know about that.
Kegels and what's it called? Stomach vacuums. Tighten that shit
I
up.
think dry pussy is not a healthy pussy, but nice, moist, wet, working. I think that's a good vagina.
Oh yeah, you don't want some old ashy vagina.
Mm-mm. See, back to the vagina again. It's a great topic.
Vagina monologues, except we're not doing a monologue.
Could you do a monologue on vagina?
Probably.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
I got a lot to say about vagina sometimes.
Not yet. Not yet. Play a little bit. Play knead the dough.
One thing about vaginas that I think is kind of funny is like if there was a sketch and it was all vaginas and you like gave them cigars and little fedora hats and they were like Hollywood managers and they were like, I'm gonna make you a star, kid.
Oh my goodness.
That would be funny. And I also think it's funny that you can have like if you have no facial hair, you can have whatever kind of fake mustache you want, dependent on the way that a vagina might be shaved.
Yeah. Can make a little thin stripe or nice little triangle or like a goatee triangle.
It's so funny if you're ever down there and you look up and you're like 9999.
A little patch.
I'm just saying. I think laughing in bed is a key.
The best, yeah. It's the best. It's the best way to break the ice, but not making like body
Not
shaming
constant jokes.
Yeah.
No, it can't be
No.
like that.
No,
It
but,
can't
like-
be like, what is this, a fish factory down here?
Yeah, no.
You can't do
And if
that.
you do smell like a
Like-
fish, girl, don't. Like something's wrong with you. Mm-mm.
Bacterial vaginitis or something.
Should I talk about it? Oh my god! So there's this gynecologist post on TikTok, and apparently the customer like left the room, and she showed the contraption that they put into the vagina, and that they pull it out when they pull it
The
out.
speculum.
Yeah, it was covered in fucking yeast, like covered. I'm like, ew, like why? Why would you ever?
How is
let
that not so uncomfortable?
Oh my god, I never seen anything like that in my life. It was horrible. I was like, oh my god. Oh my god, dirty
Done.
bitches out there. Oh my god.
And on that note, we
Everybody-
retire.
I'm just gonna say that too. Everybody unfollow Godpill Angel 333.
No, don't do it. No, it's the truth. I'm gonna speak about the truth. If I see it, I'm gonna tell you guys. I didn't want to post it and like, fucking traumatize you guys, but there's some dirty ass fucking bitches out there. Ugh. I'm gonna say it.
You posted it?
No, I was gonna, but I didn't.
Oh my gosh.
I was gonna. I'm not gonna do that to y'all. It was nasty.
Thank you.
Mm-mm.
I'm so disgusted.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
That
But not
is
all
so
women are
gross.
like that. The very few that are nasty out there.
Take some damn probiotics. Shit.
Ugh, nasty. And that a lot of times has to do with like who you let enter you. Your pH will go off balance. And when that starts to happen, run away. Run away. It's not for you. That person is not for you. Your body's giving you a sign. Go away. Listen to your body.
Yeast
When
and
you're
leaky.
yeasty, you can't be leaky if you're yeasty, no?
I
Because
don't
that
know.
looked pasty. Ugh.
Oh, stop!
I'm being
What is
real.
happening? What is happening?
I'm speaking the truth.
Oh
So
my gosh.
Christopherson died.
Oh yeah, I
Who's
saw that.
My stomach is so upset right now.
He was like in the Blade movies. I know that. I'm sure he's in other stuff too because he's familiar. But he's like Blade's mentor, the Wesley
Ugh.
Snipes. You have it all. I'm trying to change the subject for
I
you so you
know.
can stop thinking about yeasty vaginas.
That's where they got
Don't
the
bring
word
it
pussy from.
Don't bring it up again. Abbie,
It's you yeasty bitches out there. That's why they fucking named it pussy.
the yeast from the beast from the yeast.
Damn, girl, you could bake bread with that shit.
Oh my god.
Oh, girl, bun in the oven does not mean an actual bun in the
We ain't gonna go there.
Oh shit. Yikes. Woo!
Oh, that almost went down the wrong
Mama
hole.
mia. Anyways, what else has happened in Hollywood? No one's died. I told you about Jimmy Carter and how you guys he can't make it to 100.
No, that actor, he's a really great actor. It's like he
Chris
plays in a lot of
Christopherson?
Southern movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a badass motherfucker, actually.
Chris Christopherson.
You know
I
who
just
he
happened to
is.
be
Once
watching
you
Blade
see him,
last night, so then I'm like, it's
then you'll
weird
be like,
that
oh,
he died
shit.
today.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ding,
It's like,
ding,
that
ding.
seems to happen when I think about somebody, then they fucking die, celebrity-wise.
Blade 2, A Star is Born. He was in the Mel Gibson movie, Heaven's Gate, Planet of the Apes. All right. Well, Chris Christopherson. He was in a
R.I.P..
movie, The Star,
The Star?
about a jackass.
Uh,
I almost put a jackass on the front of this episode.
oh, yeah.
Riggs wants us in lingerie for the next episode.
Oh
Lingerie?
my
What?
gosh. I don't think I could. It would make me feel so queer.
I mean,
I don't own lingerie.
No. No.
I did, but
No.
I've been so like out of it that most of my things are like garbage now. Like, throw them out. So yeah, on the list, you have to take me shopping, buy me lingerie. You know, just
I
throwing
like
it out
lingerie.
Mm-hmm.
I like lingerie, and it has to be something with either removable underwear or you don't want to just move them to the side, because usually lingerie is kind of tight. Like, it's a little tighter than normal things, but I don't mind leaving on parts of the lingerie. Like, I don't
Yeah,
want to take
that's
it
the whole
all off.
point.
But I know I don't like some lingerie that you have to take off too much of it, because then it's like, oh, but the package is so pretty.
Uh-huh.
See, I like panties. I like buying like pretty panties and stuff like that, but I'm not like a full
I like the
lingerie
garters,
person.
Garter and corset
thigh
and
highs,
thigh highs, sexy.
corset. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, I wear fucking corset almost every damn day when I'm waist training, which I've got to start soon again. Boo. Because I'm gonna cut.
I got to start working out.
My coach says I have to wear one to sleep in.
I hate
It's gonna
working
be fun.
I hate it.
I need a
You
waist
should love it because
trainer.
it's showing up for yourself.
I know, but
Squeeze Me Skinny has the best waist trainers. They're my favorite.
I used to have such
Squeeze
a
me
sweet
skinny.
little belly on me until I was cut open. I mean, not that I can't get a sweet little belly back, but
Yes, you can.
I do look at it and I'm like, oh, you just went away so fast, sweet little belly. Speaking of, it was kind of funny because was it last Monday, I broke my foot.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And right after we got off here, I ended up I broke all my toes, you guys. I've even dropped metal on steel toe. I've done effed up shit to my feet. I've played soccer my whole life, but I hit my pinky toe in a way that my pinky toe bent off my foot, off of it,
Son of a
where I never
bitch.
looked down in a bone, where I was like, oh my gosh. And I had to put it back. That was the worst part. It took me probably 30 minutes of staring at it and kind of catching my breath. And then I knew I had to put it back because I didn't want to have to go to the ER.
Yeah.
And my foot was kind of swelling really fast, and I didn't want it to swell with my bone out of place. And so I put my I finally put it back, and I taped it up, and I iced it and stuff, and I waited, and I really couldn't walk. I was really it made me rethink of any fighter that might have broken their pinky toe. I'd be like, oh my gosh, I could not walk right now because it broke like a bone inside my foot. And yeah, for the whole week it was kind of bullshit. And so Abbie told me breaking your foot is fear of moving on. And I'm
Any injuries to your feet, yeah. Any injuries. And everybody thinks that it's like, oh no, that was just an accident. That's your subconscious fucking dealing with your fear of moving forward. Yeah.
And so I was like, what could it be? Whatever. I don't know any part of my fear of moving on from what? And then I got laid off on Friday. And I was like, it's like the
This is a
universe was
sign.
kind of telling me for a little while in a whole bunch of ways that
You were
it might be
unhappy
time.
for a while,
It
yeah.
might be time for you to move on from here. You're like not challenged here. You're overqualified a little bit. It's been like a nice recliner, a little lazy boy for a period of time, but it's time to move on. And it kind of took this of like, oh, I was not when I got called into the office by both of my managers because I've never been laid off before. I've never been fired or anything. I was thinking of like me for real sitting there talking shit with another employee at the desk about patients. The patients aren't in there. But I was just like, what have I ever done wrong here? Well, I do torch those motherfuckers. Like when there's an annoying one after they leave, I do say some pretty nasty shit. Like usually I'm just trying to be funny, like I would hear about fucking,
What, do they
Yeah.
keep track of that?
No,
what you
I
s-
was just thought I just in my head was creating something like, oh my gosh, what did I do? But
Yeah.
really it was just like they laid off the newest people and the person that with the most write-ups. So I was just one of the newest people. I didn't get in trouble or anything. I'm a
It's
goody
annoying.
goody. Yeah, but
But it's a good thing. It's a
Mhm.
blessing. Something better is gonna come your way. So
yeah, so
Freeze you
if
up.
you need a private chef or a personal assistant, I might be hireable for the right price.
there you go.
I feel like you'll be able to get me cheap right now because I wasn't working for money at my last job. Cheaper than normal
Yeah.
me. Because I wasn't,
Yeah.
it's like I'm stepping out of a place that I'm like, oh, it'll be easy for me to fill this because I was not working for like a big paycheck. Anyway, yeah. So
Same.
I'm going to have extra time too. I was like, if any big events happen in the world, I might go live randomly during the day because I ain't working.
Oh, that's nice.
The only bone I've ever broken, by the way, is my freaking pinky toe, and it was bad. Like I did it like I was in gymnastics and I was like going off like doing a handstand off this platform, hitting a mini tramp and like practicing my twists, and like I landed on my freaking pinky toe in a foam pit. Crushed the shit out of it. It was like the worst fucking pain ever. I couldn't believe how much that little pinky toe freaking hurt.
Thank God, knock on wood.
That's the only thing I ever broke. I didn't go to the doctor for it or anything, but it was painful. I couldn't walk.
As
I
a
always
wild
say that
child,
women,
I'm surprised I never broke anything.
That's my family didn't break bones either. We got good genetics.
I've got
did you
the
wear
air
shoes all the
taken.
time, Layla?
No. Sometimes yes, sometimes no, depending where I was. I was in the mud a lot. I did fall a lot where the wind would come, knock the wind out of my chest. I fell on a bike handle while riding on a high speed, and like it fell right on my throat, and I couldn't breathe for like a minute and a half. I went blue. What else?
Crushed your larynx a little bit there. Shit.
Something, yeah. Everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, she's turning blue!" And finally, I could breathe. I don't know what the fuck that was, but that was my major things. Mainly like
Thank
having the
you.
nin walk
Three
out.
eyes, thank you.
Thanks, you're the best, man. He's
See, I
awesome.
would totally go live during the day and be like, how long is your guys' work day? What if I go live and then I make random phone calls to my friends and we'll entertain you while you're at work?
Yeah.
It sounds like fun.
You drop your Netflix and you can sign up for some sort of VIP. No.
Love it.
It seems like so much pressure. The way the news breaks now, though, you just sit on Twitter and you're like, and now we're looking at this, and now this is happening. But thank you, Three Eyes. You're the bomb. You're the bomb.com. That will help
She
pay
is.
for some of our hotel at brogrove.com. October 25th and 26th. If you can't make it, you will be able to get your live stream and all the sound behind my computer right now. I just have to tell you guys is Shark Week. And he is such like he has to test me as a cat. He has to provoke me till the end. Do you see the computer? If I don't hold it, it looks like I'm shaky, but he's cleaning himself, leaned against the computer.
He's like, I want a little love, Mom.
Bro, there's like 30 other surfaces he could lay on and do this.
I love
Come
cats.
on with
He
it.
wants to be in
I
the
love
spotlight.
it.
It's
It's
making me
okay.
feel
He's
a little
allowed to do it.
nervous. It's giving me like a shaky feeling, like I'm just sitting here rocking. When
Cats
people
are allowed.
rock around me, it gives me anxiety.
Or when someone's like right hovering over you and like you're sitting and someone's just standing.
Reading.
Yeah, and they're just standing right over you. And it's like, oh, I
Or the
hate
people
that
who
feeling.
that sit there and like do their foot. It's like,
Oh,
oh motherfucker, please stop that shit.
like
Don't
shaking
do
up and
that.
down, up and down, up
Yes.
and
Oh
down.
my
I
god,
have
I
a
can't
friend
do
that
it.
does that where in a
Shakes
car
the
use
whole
you
fucking
can
house.
feel it. You can feel
Hate
it
it.
in the car. Like you can, it's like whatever way she's shaking makes the car do a stutter. And I'll
I'm
be
gonna
like,
slap the
what
shit
is
out of you if
that?
you don't fucking stop. Yes.
I'm like, what is that? Yeah, it's weird. And then it is kind of crazy too when adults tell you, I'm self-soothing. If you can verbalize it, you can work on stopping it.
Thank you.
You're just making me take part in your perversion.
Is that a perversion or is it like a
I don't know.
addiction thing? Because I thought it was like an addiction thing. If someone's craving a cigarette or a bump or
I don't
and
even
they're
think it's
just
that.
no.
I mean, them not even necessarily craving anything. It's just like their way of fucking transmuting whatever they're feeling, probably. Like,
Anxiety.
yeah, they probably anxiety, but it's like it makes me anxious. I can't like we're sitting here having a conversation and you start doing that shit. Like, I'm gonna sit here and I'm not gonna hear anything you're saying. All I'm gonna think about is you tapping your damn foot, and then I'm not following the conversation. I'm not participating. I'm like, what? Like, I'm about to get triggered.
I am a weird with noises. That'll be the thing to auditorily, but it takes my brain a little, like I usually will snap and be like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I'm so sorry. Let me turn the TV off. Let me stop this chime from ringing. The dog's barking at me and you're asking me a question. Like my brain was so gonna pop right now, but I couldn't figure out what it was. Like,
Do you know what's irritating? When someone is stating the fucking obvious, like, oh, you're cooking, and you know, like you're cooking. Oh, you're going to sleep and you're in bed. Yeah, I'm going to sleep. Or you know, you're doing
I
the thing
hate
and they're
extra
so
words.
but Albanians do it all the time. It's like you wake up, you're like, oh, so you woke up? Like, yeah, I'm here, aren't I? Like,
Clearly.
oh, so you're on the like you're on the phone. So like, oh, so you're on the phone? Yeah, I'm on the fucking phone. Like, what the fuck? It's obvious, isn't it? We
Are
do
you
it all
off
the
work?
time.
You just home from work?
Now, oh, you just came home? Yeah,
Nah, I'm
I'm
not here,
here, aren't
man.
I? Like, oh my god, that is the most triggering motherfucking thing.
I love my mother-in-law, but she's the queen of this kind of like where she needs information that doesn't fucking matter. Like information like oh dude, it's starting to make me like, but when I tried to just push him down the first time, he fought me on it and bit my hand. So I just stopped and then he's just doing it bad now. Um she'll like you're hosing off something. What are you doing back there? Because she lives next door to me. What are you doing? Oh, hosing off a lawn chair. Why? Going to the beach. Oh, who are you going to the beach with? Oh, friend. Like
21
you,
questions.
yeah, it's just like so.
None of your
Anyways,
fucking business.
I like all of a sudden knock, knock, knock. I'm like, what's that? It's like a weird time of night. I'm so relaxed and it's like startling. And it's her and she has food that I'm like, "Oh, thank you." I don't even know if we'll eat it. It's so sweet. I don't know if we'll eat it or not. It's not really our type of food. And so I'm like, "Oh, thank you." And she said, did you get a new doorknob?"
Huh.
Yeah. Why? The last doorknob was broke. Did you put it on? Yeah. You didn't have someone come and put it on? No, I put it on. Like, why did you
pretty
get one?
simple.
Like, it was
It's
just
the
like,
extra questions for no fucking reason.
I just feel like at your last breath, you're going to have like the secrets of life to give. And you're like, before I die, just, and you're not going to be able to answer because you just told somebody, are you eating dinner? What the
Oh
fuck?
my goodness. Oh my goodness. It is the worst. It is the worst. Oh,
I know.
you too hungry? So you're eating? Oh yeah? Yeah, I'm fucking eating.
Oh,
Why?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Whenever you started answering
that.
like that.
Oh yeah.
So you waking up?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, shit. I know. And then sometimes I feel so cunty. Like, I feel bad. Like, I know everybody wants to chat or people are lonely in the world. Like, and sometimes I just want to sit in silence. And this is what I realized too about some of my favorite people on the planet. Like, even some of the people that I met on the internet, but now we're just friends. Like, we hang out in real life and it just does, we can sit in silence. Like, that is a key
That's
with
the
me
best.
about my relationships. Cat, Mandu.
You know what drives me crazy? Speaking of that, people who have to have the TV on all the time, like all the time, like they can't ever not have it on. It's like they wake up, immediately goes on, and like nobody has to be in there watching it, but the TV's got to be on, and it's like
I like that for like sometimes in
I have
bed.
ambient noise.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with music. I'm okay with a fan.
Like
It doesn't have to be
how
the
it's
fucking TV
made.
though.
How it's made is probably the best fucking show ever on the planet. Like it makes your brain go silent and you're just like in a trance with the music.
I watch like Jungle Survivor and I watch guys like dig underground tunnels and huts with sticks. But I just or I watch people take wood
Science
and
Channel.
like sand it all down. They pour epoxy in it and then they like sand it all down so the epoxy and the wood are all like smooth and they make something out of it like a lamp or a table. I watch these kind of videos a lot, but it's like I need a visual up until a point, but the only way and this is probably why I don't dream a lot. It's like I turn off that part of my brain. It's like it's going so much all day. I need it to fucking give me a minute. And so I completely entertain it until my eyes, like it's something boring enough I don't need pictures for. It's just still in my auditory. And then I doze away. And then if it stops, I'll be like this. Like if you turn off the TV, I'll
Wide
be like,
awake.
what are you
What the
doing?
fuck? Yeah.
And you'll be like, you were sleeping. Well, I'm not anymore.
Yeah. Give me
Now
my
I have
noise
to
back.
find a fucking show. Now you've made me awake because now you don't know what kind of pacifier that was to me auditorily. And so to find it again, I have to find something I'm not interested in at all, or I'll stay up, but interested enough that it soothes me.
Okay, so I do that if I'm watching TV while I sleep. Like it's got to be Avatar: The Last Airbender because it won't fucking fuck with my dreams. Like I know pretty much every episode by heart, and it'll just play fucking 4 seasons. So I have certain shows that I can watch while I'm sleeping, or listen to while I'm sleeping. But the fan is great for that. I love the white noise of a fan.
I don't mind different. I have so much white noise in my background too. I have like 2 fans, a fish tank.
Yeah,
Like I can hear the flickering of a candle. It's like weird the stuff that my brain can tune in on. I think that's why I'm like, I need an idea.
The Science Channel is the best thing ever at night. It's the monotone voice of talking about the planets, and it's very like,
I'll
white
watch like a
noise.
Genghis Khan documentary.
Yeah.
But it's that same kind of monotone voice. Like it sounds like a professor in college and it's
Yeah.
like in this year, blah. Or like if like Chaos on Netflix and I'm geeked out about that, I'll watch like everything I can about Zeus. And so I'll put on like a Zeus documentary. But sometimes it is a professor almost giving a TED talk.
Yeah.
But I don't care. That'll make
I
my
love
brain
it.
like boosh.
Oof.
I
Or
like
like
it.
I used to watch listen to like self-hypnosis sounds at night to like relax the body and like go into deep
I have a
relaxation.
theory though on this. How busy of a place you were growing up. Like, did your parent put you in a room by yourself and shut the door? Or were you like handed around to a whole bunch of people? Like during that first 6-month cycle when you were setting your sleep self,
Handed to a
what
bunch of
was that
people.
life like for you?
I think I was handed to a bunch of people to be put asleep. It was in a cradle, constant.
And you
Like
probably heard adults around you, blah, blah,
constantly.
blah, 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 blah. That let you know everything was safe and you could just turn right off.
Yep.
Well, see, and that's my theory as a mother. Like if you've never had kids or if you're having kids, I highly suggest that you don't fucking always keep your house quiet when you're turning your baby to sleep. Like put the vacuum on, fucking yelling everything inside your house. Let them fucking get used to the noise, because otherwise you're gonna be in for a hell of a fucking ride.
Yep.
I think that like I was in an incubator for a period of time, so I know I have an effed up sleep schedule, but there's something I imagine that the soundest sleeps I ever had were like in the car when my parents were having a conversation driving somewhere, or like in the living room laying on one of your parents' laps while they were just chatting over you. And so
Yeah.
there's something about that conversation or finding that tone on a video that it's like, and this is a thing that I wonder sometimes for different people out there in different living situations. And I know men don't necessarily have to deal with it as frequently, depending on what cities that they're in. But I am the last line of defense in my house. And I have been for so many fucking years that I wonder how much that has to do with that sleep. Like, it's so rare that I can sleep hard. I don't have a
Yeah.
German Shepherd. You know, and so it's like when there is that man voice, ba 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 ba, that's like, okay, the nights are here, I can
Yeah.
go to sleep.
Yeah.
Sometimes I theorize that.
My family
Makes
also used to
sense.
take me to like all these like fucking weddings and parties. Like they used the moms and dads would get together and they couldn't find a babysitter. So they used to take us to these events while they partied, and we would sleep in the chair in the cradle. We'd just sleep there with the fucking loud ass music all night while they're partying. I mean, we had a life. We've been through it all. I went partying at like 2 years old. Are you kidding me? Like I started young. It's so crazy, so wild.
I totally love Lined. I love
Mhm.
Lined.
too.
I Howard Stern. I feel like I've
Yep.
listened to every single hour of Howard Stern
Huh?
probably until he had Hillary on. Like, I feel like I listened to all of it. So I think that that's kind of interesting, like that talk radio, auditory thing, even if you didn't have a TV or you were traveling. It was like
Yeah.
Adam Carolla and Drew.
Yep.
I sat next to Adam Carolla once in a radio show.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it was. He told me, "You're good at this."
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I always thought it was a compliment coming from Adam Carolla.
Yeah, it really
He's like,
is.
"You're good at this. I like the sound of your voice." And then he told my boss that he was horrible at this.
Nice.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. My boss still works for Jimmy Kimmel,
He
my
does.
ex-boss. Yeah,
Mm.
my old boss. Yeah, right.
Huh.
Hmm.
I wonder.
Jimmy Kimmel green rooms.
Why don't you give him a call and be like, "Hey, is he a pedophile?"
I will say it's a boss that I used to. There was a time I went to the Keys, and every single time I heard Margaritaville, I called him. And do you know how much you hear Margaritaville in the Keys? Like I drunk dialed him every single time. Anyway, yeah, he was fun. Back in the day, Hollywood. That's where I always love. Like, I'm so glad I didn't go to the wrong party or down the wrong hallway at the right party.
Mm-hmm.
At the white party.
I say the same thing about like Wilhelmina and not like going for it, because
Oh
God knows
yeah.
what I've been.
There is every chance that the Wilhelmina agency in Wilhelmina was just another Rachel Chandler. Every single chance in the world. All these agencies need to be looked at. All of these, like if Les Wexner and that catalog, everything that we pointed out about Wayfair is happening with Etsy. It's happening with Alibaba. It's happening with, and so I like you name the site, Amazon. However you think you're ordering something innocent, there are people that know how to order in their code words nefarious stuff that we're not even allowed to say the words on here because they'll take us down, even though there's all the proof of it in the world that that's what they're up to.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so
100%.
wild.
And like how it
And that's
even
why they're.
happened.
Don't
It's
you
like
think
an,
that's why they're deleting their Twitter feeds too? Because they're probably pointing out what to fucking order and where. in some
Yeah,
code
well,
words.
that's where I think it should also be looked at is that some of these little bitches that go to these Hollywood parties and some of these people that, yeah, I feel bad that a child of Drew Barrymore was abused her whole life. And then she became an adult and part of the problem. That's what I think is so, like, I'm sorry that some of these people were abused their whole lives, but then I also look at Ray J is a Hollywood drug dealer. Some of the people that we know them as one thing, they're a whole different thing. So
Yeah.
it's like Ray J all at these parties, and then you're all of a sudden like, how did Whitney Houston die? Oh,
How-
was it planned that Whitney Houston died? Because Clive Davis, another guy that I said at the beginning of this, should be looked at because he's sus as fuck. He still had his party while her body laid in a bathtub, and I call that ritual.
Yeah. How did Brittany Murphy die? And how did P. Diddy's ex-wife die? They both died in the same fucking cause on the
Weird
same fucking
pneumonia.
day. Wasn't it the 25th? They both died on the 25th as well. 25 is a big death number for like killings when they kill somebody off. 25 for some reason. Just look at the
Because
deaths.
25 is how you change time. 25 is changes timelines.
Probably.
It's how you
That's
change
what Summer
time.
says.
Yes, 25 changes time.
23 is dead people time.
Mm.
So they turned the time just so they could make it to 23. Michael
25.
Jordan of it all. That's why it started.
And it's 27. I mean, it's 7. 7. 7.
I know. I think it's funny too because all these celebrities are all going down, and so everyone's like, "Well, like LeBron's a shill. Michael Jordan was a good guy." I'm like, for all intents and purposes, there's a good chance we talk about the conspiracy in sports. Michael Jordan's dad probably got murdered because Michael Jordan's gambling debt or
Probably.
sacrifice or whatever you want to call it. Michael Jordan also probably only went to play baseball to pay a gambling debt. Michael Jordan probably also only went to the Wizards to play a gambling debt. So I think like some of these things are funny that it's like some people might get blackmailed by sex. Others are drugs. Some's cash. Some's power. But everybody, it seems like in this Hollywood fame monkey of it all, if you don't play along, and there's every proof that Kobe did play along, but I actually think he was just an innocent kid until they were like, look, you'll leave here and everyone will think you raped this girl forever and your career is over. Or
Yeah.
you're going to play ball for us. No pun intended.
Wasn't he fighting Big Pharma at the time too? For
Well,
the
there's-
Black Mamba or something? Or something?
There's a thing that I think really, if you look all into it, this is just what I think. I don't know if there was a drug that they like, let's say you could get it at GNC or whatever. And it was called Black Mamba. And he was trying to sue them to get them to not use it. But there was trace elements of stuff in it. I would gander that if you look deeper into this, it was a Chinese company that was shipping in this product called Black Mamba that's how they were getting the fentanyl from China into our country to do a war from inside out. Because I also think all the basketball shit all attaches to Steven Johnson, to George Floyd. And then you have to look into Elon Omar's dad and that club they worked at, and George Floyd in his pocket, fentanyl and counterfeit money from China. So I just think that it's all attached.
What if it wasn't just fentanyl, but Black Mamba is a symbol of like a snake? And what if it's that ingredient that they were trying to create, the MR, and I don't want to say the rest of it.
Where everybody was saying,
the
watch the water.
Yeah, and it's part of the
Documentary.
ingredient that's saying that the venom is probably a big ingredient in the whatever and in the water supply. So I don't know. It's probably maybe that ingredient that they're hiding, the Black Mamba ingredient.
This is from a Diddy party. Doesn't it look like it's from a Diddy party?
GHB. That's some GHB in there, baby. That's the baby oil.
Kobe's helicopter crash was sus as fuck, and for some reason it felt like it set off the ritual of the vid. Like everything felt like it all like
the venom. The serpent.
It also is interesting if you look at Nike had some commercials and they were all Black Mamba and Kobe Bryant was on them and there was a helicopter crashing onto the roof.
Mm-hmm.
I was curious.
The Simpsons also, didn't they make a skit or something like that of him dying.
And I will
helicopter.
say this is just in the folder, so sorry if it triggers some people. I know people get triggered if you bring up anything Q. There was a Q drop that it was, what does it mean to be covered in gold? And a lot of people brought up the Rothschild, like 1970s costume party or mask party where the wife has like the gold deer antlers, and other people were bringing up Kobe Bryant getting covered in gold at the Nickelodeon's Kid Choice Awards.
Huh. Was he covered in gold?
He got poured and covered in gold, like a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Huh.
Damn.
And so he also had this other award. And then the night before he dies, LeBron James breaks his record.
I can't stand that man. I can't. I don't know why. Every bone, every fiber in my body just does not like him.
LeBron.
Yeah.
Was it Portland or Salem that had the Golden Man? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
In Oregon. Like, it's like just fucking. I've seen him probably somewhere like near. Somewhere in either Alabama or Georgia too. I want to say Georgia, but like a fucking. In Oregon, they call it the Golden Man, and it's just like this whole monument, and on the very top of it, like you can see it from like a bunch of places in the city. It's just a golden man on a like spire.
Oregon Pioneer is an 8.5-ton bronze sculpture with gold leaf finish that sits atop the Oregon State Capitol in Salem, Oregon. It's a 22-foot, 7-meter tall hollow sculpture. The gilded piece was installed atop the building in 1938. Oof.
Crazy
38. You know what that means. It's crazy. Just so you guys know how we say 23 is dead people time, 25 changes timelines, 38 is always crazy. You see the number 38 is about to get crazy.
We're giving you a lesson in numbers today.
This is a lesson of what we're teaching the
episode is
computer.
brought to you by
Is it 11?
the number.
Yeah. It's 11.
LeBron James is a Chinese shill. I think it's interesting how many of these people went over to China. I also think it's interesting you brought up Oregon, how many of their state officials, this is so true too with Rhode Island. There's a couple of states out there I've looked into, and all their officials met with Chinese dignitaries all leading up to lockdowns. Huh. What are you doing?
Oh, yeah, there's that picture.
What is going on?
Yeah, and they all seem like all shitholes, all places that we'd be like, what? Who would ever live in those places?
Yeah. But my favorite was the picture of Obama in one of those facilities with Fauci. And who else was it? In the lab before COVID happened. Do you all remember that?
Yeah, but I don't know who else it was.
I forgot who it was. I think it was like one of the military. He was black. I forgot who it was in there. One of these military defense people. I forgot what it was or who he was. But that was right in our faces of who was behind the whole COVID of it all. Because Fauci talked about it before it even happened.
Well, a million times. That's what I mean, it was like Project 2025, or I think it was 2021, and then it changed. It's been so many different numbers. It's the same thing over and over again. Now I said Project 2025, and that's the whole thing that they're trying to put on TJT. That's not real at all.
Yeah.
That's probably why they did that. It's all like a mix of other things, so we don't remember Event 201.
We're changing time.
Jeez, I had to pull that out of my. I'm like, what? What is these projects and know-how?
Didn't he write one? Charles Schwab or Carl? What is his name?
Klaus
Schwab. Yeah, Klaus Schwab. There you go. Agenda 2020.
Even the way Klaus Schwab talks sounds like an evil villain.
Yeah, man. He sounds like a Nazi, you know?
Look how long Hillary's been dressing like a Chinese dignitary, and we didn't see it right in front of our face.
For real,
right?
Holy shit.
She's been dressing like Mao forever, and we didn't see it right in front of our face.
Dude.
Like, and they were trying to bring in
Even
that
Pelosi.
androgynous gray clothing.
Yeah.
Like the only
You're
thing her outfit's
right.
missing is some Crocs. Because they want us all in prison wear too. For some reason, our shoes are dangerous, so they want it's like let's get them all into
No
Crocs.
shoelaces. Yeah.
Idiocracy.
Ray J and Brandy are Snoop Dogg's actual cousins, and I did not know that. And
real?
think of Brandy, like she is almost a Disney kid. She's like Lauryn Hill, where like Lauryn Hill's on Sister Act. Brandy's a child. She's like, wanna be down with what you're going through. She does that before she even meets Monica.
I saw her in concert with Boys to Men.
Boys to Men. I wonder why they were named that.
I know, it's
Brandy,
kinda
Ray
weird.
J.
Boys to Men. Would they go on Pleasure Island somewhere?
I don't know. End of the Road was a really good song though.
That is from the Boomerang soundtrack.
Boys to Men. I would say they have
Boomerang
some,
give a lot of women fucking feet
Feet
dysmorphia.
complex.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I had to show people my feet this week because I hurt my foot. And I'm not typically a person. If you usually see me in life, unless I'm at the fucking beach, I have socks on, even with my slides. It's just, I don't have ugly feet. I've played soccer. I have long toes and I just like them covered. They feel safe. And so I've had to show people it felt like, oh, this feels so intimate. Here's my feet. Like I was sending people feet pics. I wondered if there was like an injured feet pic market.
Oh,
There
I'm
is.
sure. After
Some
after
people
Boomerang
take it
though,
out.
I had a friend who would never have sex with she always had to have sex with socks on. I was like, "You're fucking crazy. Just let it
Interesting.
go." Yeah.
Interesting.
Oops, this is
Is
the one that Boys to Men. They all took it from BBD, Belle Biv DeVoe. Now you know.
really BB Bell Biv
Me and the
DeVoe.
crew used to do her. What did you just say about her?
Is
Was
it
it
true?
Do me,
her choice?
baby. Do me,
Since
baby.
we're talking about
Belle
oh,
Biv DeVoe, they were all just a fall off of a boy band. They were a little boy band, New Edition with Bobby Brown,
Yeah.
so he was like a little boy band passed around kid before there was even such thing as Diddy. Maybe he got paid off with Whitney,
yeah.
and then
we
they kill her and her daughter in a bathtub.
Don't forget the New Kids on the Block. And what's his name? He's an actor now.
Menudo. Think of
Johnny
Menudo as
Wahlberg
just they
or
just
Yeah,
swapped
Mark
out
Wahlberg.
those kids
Mark
every
Wahlberg.
time they got older. Menudo, and then Ricky Martin is one of those kids.
Ricky
Yeah,
Martin was
the
on One Life to Live.
Wahlburgers.
He was on a soap opera for a while.
He was on General Hospital too.
Oh, was it General Hospital? I thought it was One Life to Live. I watched all three of them on ABC when I was
I
younger.
think he dated Brenda and Karen during the Jagger
Yes,
Jason
yes.
feud
It was One Life to
of
Live.
General Hospital.
Yep. He did. I watched that era.
I watched that in college. Maybe college, maybe high school, but right somewhere in that
Yeah.
area. Oh my gosh. I know, aren't the Wahlbergs like one of the 12 families that like shit the bed for the country when people like bring up all the names? Aren't they one of the names?
Yeah, I think so.
Aaron
Why can't you
Carter.
trust a big butt and a smile?
Never trust a big butt and a smile.
He asked me on a date a long time ago when I was 17 years old. When I worked at this boutique in New York City, he lived right upstairs in
Who?
Columbus Circle, Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Retell that story.
So he lived right upstairs with a bunch of other actors. This is in Columbus Circle, and I worked at the boutique, and I think it's still there, called the New York Look. And I was the shoe manager, shoe salesperson that They had 2 separate stores, the clothing stores, and you walk a little bit, and then there's the shoe store. Anyway, I go next door, and I see this guy, and he's reading GQ magazine, and I see Mark Wahlberg there reading, and then I go around to buy my cigarettes, and he's watching himself in the GQ magazine, and that's when he made that movie with the cars. What was it called? Italian Job, I believe. He was in that movie. So he's like, "Oh, you work right next door, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, how'd you know?" He's like, "Oh, I see you there all the time." I was like, "Well, I'll have a nice day." So I go back into my vicinity, and then days later he passes by, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, is that Mark Wahlberg?" They hit me up on the line. "Is that Mark Wahlberg?" Yeah. So he comes in the store, and he's there with his big ass bodyguard. He's like, "Hi, how you doing? I just wanted to stop by and say hi." I was like, "Hi," and everyone's looking at the camera. He was just like trying to be friendly. And then one day I was going home, and he's like right in front. He stops at the red light, and he's like, "Hey, can I take you out to dinner?" And me and my virgin ass, I'm like, "Oh no, I have a boyfriend. Thank you so much." I didn't know what to say to him, but I wanted to be nice and decline him. But I was only 17 years old, and he was probably like 20 something, maybe 30 something. But there's a few people, ugh, God, he was short too. Nice, but just creepy. They give me all creepy vibes. I met Adam Sandler. I met so many in New York City. They just give me the same vibe. Like, not normal. Their energy is like strong. Like you can feel their energy, like they're warlocks or something. Witchy,
What about
witchy as
toxic
fuck.
sock syndrome?
The what?
Zephyr said, "But what about toxic sock syndrome?"
Toxic.
Toxic sock syndrome? What is
Like it.
that?
I remember one time we were passing notes in like one of the classes I was in, and like it was just like a group of girls sitting around a desk and some guys passing notes to us. And so one of the guys wrote to us, and what he meant to write was "Do you douche?" But what he wrote was "Do you dosh?" And so, I don't know why it's like one of those high school things. To the rest of high school, it made us laugh. Like anytime I saw this one girl, even when we weren't friends anymore, I'd be like, "But do you dosh?" Like, you have those fucking things with people that you're like, this
Some
will always
people
be
say
funny.
douching is not that healthy.
You should
It's
not
not.
squirt water up your hoo-ha unless
Yeah.
you're fucking have yeast on a fucking
Well, especially if
platter.
it's like comes in the form of like massengill or something like that. Like there are practical applications for it. Like probably if you have a fucking very cheesy fungusy fucking vagina, but if you do it, you should probably read in a herb book the right shit to fucking put in there, so that way you're
The
dealing
right
with the
herbs.
issue. Yeah, you're not putting chemical shit up in there.
The right herbs.
Herbs,
You
yes.
need some sage in there.
Something.
Sage that shit, man.
Then you'll have some sage bread.
Holy
You need some
water.
raisins and some cinnamon in there.
Some fucking holy water. The power of
Gross.
Christ compels me.
Ow! I just squeezed my own foot so tight.
No, you need some like what's it called?
Yeesh.
Like yogurt.
No, we're not talking about this anymore.
Cottage cheese.
All right. Well, thank you guys for taking part in this spell, and hopefully Jimmy Carter does not make it through the night.
Yeah. And we will call the White House
Oh.
and give our condolences.
It's called the Swamp Bunny spell. He's gonna make it to
Swamp
100,
bunnies.
and I'm gonna be like, oh,
Oh, damn it.
I'm gonna blame you guys. I'm gonna be like, you didn't believe enough.
Yeah. He's got to go. He's got to go.
Yeah, Jimmy Carter. There's no such thing
Go,
as a
gotta
good
go,
guy
gotta go,
vice
right now,
president,
gotta go,
especially
gotta
if
go,
Joe
gotta go.
Biden's doing the eulogy.
Mhm.
But it's like, oh, we're gonna kill him at a perfect time, because you can't kill it. Like, you need Joe Biden to go up there and say some shit.
Well,
And it's
especially
been a
since
while
his
since
wife
we've
was
seen
such
him.
a John Wayne Gacy fan. Come on now. These are not good guys.
And
Gotta-
Jim Jones.
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
So weird. And
Okay.
they're Nephilim next to
Yeah.
the Carters. The Carters are like 2 feet tall. So yeah, I love you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with us for 222. That's how long you guys have been hanging out with the Ssgg. So I'm going to let it go to 2, 2, 3
Dead
because
to finish the spell.
Bye. Gotta go. Gotta go.
yeah,
Gotta
we
go,
love you
Racket.
guys so
Gotta
much,
go.
and we
Gotta
will
go.
see
Gotta
you
go.
very soon. So, okay.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Love y'all. Bye.
Britney Spears, can we be saved? God, why is Satan controlling the universe?
The world we used to think we knew is constantly exposing woo. Our possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys, good guys. Witches, widows, MAGA, mystics, entertaining cunnilinguists, good guys. The forum of the quorum needs a secretive society to advance our philosophies intentionally, magically, good guys. Conspiracy, sex, cult, Jamaicans, it's okay to change your thinking, good guys. Good guys, good guys, good guys. The world we used to think we knew is constantly exposing woo. Our possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys, good guys. Witches, widows, MAGA, mystics, entertaining cunnilinguists, good guys. The forum of the quorum needs a secretive society to advance our philosophies intentionally, magically, good guys. Conspiracy, sex, clone Jamaicans, it's okay to change your thinking, good guys. Good guys, good guys, good guys.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.